order is 201. Roll call. Here.
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 All present.
We do have a quorum. Pledge allegiance and salute the Texas flag.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Testimony of oath of presenters, please be advised that you are here present today, that you are under oath before the Commissioners Court. 1.5 Public comments. We have Kehlani Bettis with Dickerwood RV Park, Grace of God Community Church Fellowship, and Carrizo Springs WTS. Good morning, Ms. Bettis. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Kehlani Bettis. I am a lifelong resident of this county. I help operate 2 family businesses, one that has been established for over 10 years, and another now entering its 4th year. And my family and church ministry have been active and well known in this community for over 35 years. I'm here today because of the ongoing stray dog issue in our county that remains unresolved and its impact that continues to affect residents, businesses, and the welfare of animals. While we appreciate the meetings and the conversations that we have had with the leadership, the reality is that this problem continues to escalate. We have experienced constant barking that has driven our customers away, trash and debris that has been left behind, property damage, and ongoing concerns for the safety of our family, our tenants, and other animals. This is not just an inconvenience, it is a quality of life issue and a public safety concern. Our family has invested decades into this community through business, ministry, and service. We want to continue contributing positively and responsibly. However, the burden of managing a growing stray dog population should not fall solely on the residents and local families who are doing their part to operate safely and responsibly. We understand that solutions take time, planning, and resources. At the same time, continued delays have real consequences. Businesses lose customers, residents feel unsafe, and animals are left without proper care or oversight, and this affects everyone. My request today is respectful, but also very urgent. We are asking the county leadership to take serious consideration and a decisive action toward a sustainable solution, whether through funding, partnerships, policy changes, or a clearly defined plan. We are asking for progress that prioritizes public safety and humane treatment of animals. Our call to action is this. We ask the leadership to commit to working collaboratively toward a solution and to clearly communicate the next steps and timelines to the community. Our county deserves to be a place where residents feel safe, businesses can thrive, and animals are cared for responsibly. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Bettis. We have Peter Bettis III, also with Bakerwood and Grace of God Community Church. You have 3 minutes, Mr. Bettis.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, members of the court, judge, and commissioners. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Peter Bettis III. I'm also a longtime resident of Carrizo Springs, and I'm also here today as a husband, as a business owner, as someone who cares deeply about the safety and stability of our community. We have taken the appropriate steps to report the stray dog issue and have engaged in really meaningful conversations with leadership in good faith. And while we understand that change doesn't happen overnight, as my wife reiterated, the ongoing lack of resolution has created serious and measurable impacts. The stray dog problem is not only a nuisance for many of us all over our community, it's become a threat. There has been damage to our property, disruption of our businesses, and ongoing concern for personal safety. The constant barking, aggressive behavior, and lack of control have affected our ability to operate and grow in this community. This has also affected animal welfare as well, leaving animals to roam without proper care, oversight, or intervention puts them at risk and creates conflict with residents. This is not fair to the animals or to the people who live and work here. We are not simply here to complain. We are here to ask for leadership, solutions, and action. We would like to see a structured, proactive approach that acknowledges the seriousness of this issue, not only for us, but for every citizen. And we humbly ask that Commissioners Court will choose to move forward with a resolution. Our request is that the county take decisive steps to address this problem with urgency. We understand that may include, allocating resources, creating partnerships, or implementing policies that provide enforcement and long-term prevention. The call to action today from ourselves as citizens is for leadership to please commit to a clear plan and timeline. Our community needs assurance that this issue is being addressed and that the safety of our citizens and animals, that it is a priority. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your service to this county. God bless everyone.
Thank you. 1.6, approval of meeting January 5th, 2026.
Motion to approve, subject to no corrections.
If you have no questions, I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Fidanza. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, informational, assisted text dot and loading material at text dot yard, precinct 1.
Judge, I requested to place this on the informational section, just to advise the court that we were asked to assist TxDOT at their yard to load some scrap material with a rubber truck, and being that it's Commissioner Columbus' precinct, I contacted her, and we went ahead and assisted, coordinated it, but I wanted to make the court aware of it.
Thank you. 2.2, excuse me. To note for the record that under agenda item 3.27 of the Commissioners Court meeting held on 11/24/25, the approval to purchase 226 Chevy pickup trucks reflects a reduction in total amount of $4,000 to account for 2 county vehicle trade-ins.
So Judge, this was just the vehicles that I had purchased that was approved for the higher amount. I did end up taking one truck out of surplus, and when that we invested countless of funds into that just have not been operational or used for the precinct, and we went ahead and traded them in for the value of $4,000.
2.3, to inform the court of one full-time position being filled for precinct 3.
This is just information as well. We went ahead and brought on a new road and bridge employee.
2.4, to inform the Commissioners Court of the dismissal of road and bridge clerk effective January 8, 2026.
As well, Judge, if anybody has any questions or would like to see any paperwork, I know that everything is filed at the Treasurer's Office, but that situation stands. There's just an inform the court that the dismissal of that position.
Thank you. 3.1, approval of bonds.
No bonds, Judge.
3.2, discussion and appropriate action to set no parking zones, county employee parking and county business parking. Commissioners, as y'all are all aware, the front portion of the courthouse has been blocked out already for
The city of Carrizo.
With that being said, District Court Judge Maribel Flores had court last week. We did have some discussion. There was many issues regarding the parking situation. We did have several complaints from constituents. Normally they're used to parking on either that front end or this front front end of the courthouse. It was easier for them to walk to go and pay their taxes with Ms. Sandoval. I'm sure Ms. Sandoval got complaints as well, because she's nodding her head over there. But we did get a lot of complaints because there was employees obviously parking in that front area, and there's not enough parking for constituents. And then on this right-hand side of me, the right-hand side of all of us, there's parking there as well, that 1 hour parking. However, there's court, so there was parking that was filled there. To our left, Mr. Pereira's parking, there was parking as well. Unfortunately, Mr. Pereira's not here to advise. He also advised me that he had to let several individuals know that they had to move because they were parking there for the gym. And he's been monitoring the parking there. He did advise me that in the past he would simply call the sheriff's office and they would give them the toll. Obviously, we haven't been doing that. So today I'm requesting from this court that we set parking areas so that we can have better logistic-wise for when there's district court, county court, and just county employee parking in and of itself. I know that Commissioner Alonso Carmona was kind of in the middle of getting the county parking only vetoed at your own risk if you were not here for county business. So I'm asking this honorable court to approve that we set the left-hand side, which is over at the auditor's office, this front area, and this right side, for it to just say that it's county business parking only, and allow for county business to be parked there. I have been in discussion with the courthouse security and Mr. Pereira's office in finding useful ways in monitoring as to who's parking. I think that we're a small town enough to know who's parking there that's not supposed to be parking there, to be able to monitor it. But there has to be some kind of resolution or solution to the parking issues, because we did have a lot of upset constituents, customers, elected officials last week because there was a decrease in parking space.
Judge, can I ask where do we have, or how many handicap parking spots do we have available?
2.
2?
And to be quite frank with you, although we have those 2 parking spaces, and they can be utilized for individuals with, that have a wheelchair or whatnot, because we have ADA compliant, for your elderly, for other individuals that may not necessarily be in a wheelchair, it's a lot easier for them to just park directly in front, right here by the stairways, and it's easier for them to park over here and then walk. I know that was an issue that happened last week.
Because I am for designating the areas for county use only, but I would say to add into it that I would think that to be able to benefit the people and the issues that they're having is to designate the front of the courthouse as a handicap as well. So that way it gives the people the opportunity, because sometimes we do have, I'm guilty of it myself. I come into the courthouse and it's just easier for me to park there at a convenience. So if we're going to designate county parking, I would think that it would work out for the best interest of the people to designate the front of the courthouse, or at least more than half of it for...
The only thing with that, Commissioner, is that that's an easement that we have with the city. So that's why there's no disability parking there to begin with, and it was set over here because this is our property. So we can't technically put disability parking there. It have to be something that I have to obviously have discussion with the city of Carrizo. My distinct understanding is that that's why there is none there, and we put it over here on the side. We can also put some on this side, but obviously it's a little bit farther for people to walk. So either making this front area for constituents only and have employees park on this side, and have employees park this side, and then just allow constituents to park there. But at the end of the day, the goal is to make it to where it's everywhere. It's county business only, because we do have some people, as a matter of fact, and I'm not sure if Ms. Mary saw this last week or not, but I know I saw it, I know the security saw it, there was people parking on this side that are doing business for across the street, so they weren't doing county business. And that's where we kind of run into a problem where we have people parking in spots that can be utilized by constituents, that can be utilized by employees, that can be utilized by officials, but they're not doing county business. So the main request is to set the right-hand side, the left-hand side, and obviously the front for county business only, meaning that
Judge,
Monday.
could it be lot next to the auditors? Is there a way we might look into, see who owns it and purchase it, and make a parking lot out of it?
We can, I mean, there's an owner that owns it. I mean, there's a discussion, we can have discussion with that owner at some point. But for purposes of getting a solution right now, the request is to
Well, I would think that would be part of,
no, I understand that's part of a solution, but I'm talking about a solution today, in asking this court to approve the auditors, the front and the right-hand side, for there to be signage that indicates county business only, others will be told.
What,
so look, the signs that,
That you
we
were
were
going to
looking
get,
into,
yes, sir.
can we use those?
Yes, we can.
As a record will be called?
Correct. And that's the action that I need today.
I just,
Thank you, Commissioner. Give me 1 second, Commissioner. Yes, ma'am.
I think I still kind of fall back into the notion of, and I know that you said that, okay, well, they're going across the street or they're going to the gym, but I see a legal lawsuit or a possibility of us kind of running into issues, because what if they do come to the courthouse and then they go to the gym and then technically they park here for county property? I just don't understand how we're gonna distinguish, and again, I am for designating the areas, and I will do it, it's just, I see issues going into it, because how, it's gonna go a
Well, I
little
think
bit.
at the point of when they're no longer doing county business, they have to go park somewhere else. I mean, it's parking for county business. You come in and if they're here 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, because sometimes when you're here for court, you can be here all day.
Yeah,
And that's perfectly fine, but I think as a matter of I mean, just common sense, if you're coming in here to come pay your taxes and you decide that you're gonna park here as well to go to the gym, I think that, morally, I think you should know that you're not supposed to be parking here because you're taking somebody else's parking.
and that's just my only concern, is that I feel like later on in the future, like if it would you become like, we would tow
I mean,
vehicle, and then they would be like, but I did go into the county, or I was doing this, and then if we ended up coming back and saying like, they
Well,
get to come into the tax office, but I understand what you're saying is,
You just follow along.
while they're in county property. But it wouldn't be the first step, it would be like maybe a first warning, second warning, and then a third warning tow, or how is it that you're trying to implement, that structure?
The courthouse security would go look for that individual. So what happened also about 2 weeks ago, Mr. Beda came, because as far as Mr. Beda advised me is when the previous administration was here, the previous administration at the sheriff's office, Mr. Beda and his staff would kind of, go out there and monitor, and he told me that if somebody was parked there for the gym, that they would call the sheriff's office and they'd come and tow. How they did that, I don't know, but that's how they used to do it, and that was prior to sheriff being the sheriff and me being the judge, but that's what Mr. Pereira told me to, and I didn't want to go about it that way, I wanted to do it the proper way and put it here before the court. But we did have a concern about 2 weeks ago where there was a vehicle that was parked there for about 2 weeks, and they were not there for county business, they were there for using the gym, and it was, and that's what I'm saying, I guess fortunately, we're a smaller county, so you kind of know who's here and who's not there doing county business. And so there's, by no means, we're trying to push anybody away. If they gotta do county business, they gotta do county business. But I think the only fair thing to do is that if you know you're not doing county business and you're parking there, and going to visit Ms. Mary just to say hi, to utilize that as a basis to park here and then go to the gym, I think it's just a matter of following up. As you know, when you walk into the courthouse security asks for you to sign in to see where you're going. And I think it's just a matter of protocol and following up on where you're at. So if you sign in that you're going to, you know, the judge's office or going to the treasurer's or to the auditors or wherever, and you put it on there and you're still parked there and she goes and checks and you're not there, then obviously there's backup to show, you know, you came in at 11:01, you've been here for 3 hours and you haven't been there anymore.
So our guests are signing in as they're coming into the courthouse.
Yes.
Maybe like a ticket, or a tag or something like that for our employees, that way, you know, being able to distinguish a little bit.
We can do that. I mean, I can get with Mr. Ortiz to get me the list of the employees so that we can get them a tag or something to that effect to put on their vehicle. But I mean, I think we all know who kind of drives what and who's parking where.
I'm just trying to protect us in the long
I
run.
understand and I
If somebody
appreciate that.
says, you know, how were you able to tell, or, you know, were you targeting me or for whatever such reason, we have steps and plans that say, okay, this is how we were able to kind of distinguish, or this is what kind of raised a flag to us. And that's what I'm saying, I'm all for the parking spot. I know that we're having an issue with parking right now, and I know that, you know, we need what we do have, and it is being used by, you know, the gym and other areas. But I'm just saying, to kind of protect us in the long run, making sure that we implement other things other than just signs and towing away. But how you're saying that they do come in, they do sign in, and maybe parking tax would be able to help us to just protect us in the long run and add an extra protective measure for us.
Thank you.
Judge, so is the courthouse security gonna be implementing this? Because I don't think it's right that the employees are out there checking if they're here for courthouse reasons or not.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that that's just something that they do because Mr. Pereira himself advised me that he asked his staff to do that. Obviously, I can't control what he does with his department, but I'm just advising you. But no, the staff is not the one that's gonna implement this. Yes, it will be courthouse security. And we'll work in conjunction with the sheriff's office, but you're absolutely correct. We're not gonna put our staff at harm to try to go and get into an argument or get something heated. You know, we have our courthouse security, as you will, first line of defense, and they're the ones, and if they've done it before. Mr. Pereira has come over here to ask Mrs. Segura if she can go tell somebody to move from over there, and she's done it. She's gone to go tell them, and there was somebody at the gym, and they didn't have a problem moving, they didn't know.
We just need to implement it more on the security.
I agree with you.
Because in the past, we had already designated this area for county employees, and I understand other people park there, but as long as it's being implemented, it should work.
I agree. I have a motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.3, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 1, Mrs. Sonia Guerrero Perez for the month of December 2025.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I know that we were having connection issues with your office, with the software that we installed. Has that been working great for you guys now that it's been?
Now that it's been removed, yes.
Okay. So I think that we did say that it was just firewalls counteracting each other. But anytime you guys are having issues like that, go ahead and give us a call back. Obviously, we have to kind of go back to the drawing board because we still want to be able to offer y'all guys a certain sense of protection as far as cybersecurity. But we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll make sure that we work together on it so that way your office can stay open and operating.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Judge Perez?
Motion to
I
approve.
have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, Commissioners, I come again to follow up with the connection with Southern Software. The last email that I received, and I know Mr. Pereira's not here, it says that they emailed the gentleman a week ago and have not heard back on some of the options that Intech has. And I know Mr. Pereira received the email as well, and they go back and forth. I know that John did respond to him, tell him what he needed, and Mark from Southern Software has not contacted him back, and now I think we're 2 weeks into it. My request from Commissioners Court and Judge, if possible, is to request for Southern Software to come and answer to why we're not connected at this time. I know that Intech has given them everything that they have requested, and Intech is ready to move forward. And we can ask for both of these softwares to come forward and to answer questions as to why we're already 2 years into this and we are still not connected with our ticket system. Again, I ask that because my part-time employee that I have will be leaving back to school soon, and she's the one that enters our citations. We can get any amount of tickets at any given time, and we get stacks of them, and it's hard for one person to be answering the phone, taking those payments, doing the day-to-day tasks. But the mere fact that we are still entering citations in this day and age with the technology has become kind of irritating for my office and an inconvenience for the community. We wait up to, I don't know how long before we receive our citations, and then we enter them, so people are calling for them. Of course, Sheriff's Office has to enter them and do their part, and then they bring them over, and then we have to enter them. So it's hard when a constituent calls and wants to take care of their citation and we don't have it. So I'm pleading to the court to have Southern Software come and answer to why we're not connected 2 years down and why we're still in the same situation.
Thank you for that information, Judge. Unfortunately, Mr. Pereira is not here. I know that he spoke to me last week, and there's, as you know, and you're very well aware, his story, her story, everybody else's story. And I know that he advised me last week, and he advised me that he was having a hard time getting through John at Intech. So obviously it's different than what you're, exactly, it's a different story
I'm
than
just
what
going
you're
through the
saying.
emails.
And so what I will suggest, Judge, in order for us to take action, because obviously it's not an action item on here for us to do anything, I would strongly suggest to put it on the next Commissioners Court agenda so that the court can actually take an action on it. Right now, it's obviously notice that you're giving us, and we'll ascertain that we can have all the parties present, so that they can be here to answer any questions that we may have, and for there to be some kind of accountability.
Yes.
I appreciate you letting us know, but unfortunately, because it's not an agenda item, we can't really vote on it or take any action regarding forcing anybody to be here. But feel free to put it on the agenda for the next one, and we'll have that taken care of, or at least try to start having a resolution towards it.
And I can email or forward the emails or print them out and send them to you. When the last conversation, John had emailed to John and, to Mark, and no response. So I can provide those for you so that you know, can read back and have reference as to where we're at.
Judge, you guys are using Intech right now, right?
Yes.
The issue with Southern Software.
Yes.
Yes, bridging the two.
Has IT been involved in communication with those two departments?
I don't think so. I think it's something that
It's
the two
separate,
softwares
yeah.
have to,
Okay. Come together.
Yeah, it's just
they
the
have to
two
get to talk.
softwares.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's pretty much bridging the gap between the two softwares. Thank you, Judge.
Did you have a question for me?
Well, I was just gonna make a concern that if we've been down for 2 years without the proper service and we're paying for service, I think it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. So we'll wait for you to put it in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. 3.4, a motion to table. Judge asked to table it.
Second. Or you,
Yes, I made the motion and you can second it. Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.5, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 3, Ms. Leticia Hernandez for the month of November and December 2025. Morning, Judge.
Judge.
Judge, I know that we've been by the office a few times to help. I know that there was a project that was pending, from Juan's time, which was the carport. We did secure the materials to build the carport for you out there, but we're having issues with the PO, so it's gonna take us some time, but just know that we're still actively working to it. It's just that we can't really go and set up if the PO hasn't been approved. It was an error on our area. The new supervisor that came in went and purchased it through Alamo without securing a PO first, so we're trying to work through that. Small hiccup, small misunderstanding, but just know that we're still trying to work through it to get you that carport up, because I know that you need it for, to be able to not park in the front, to park on the side, so we're still working on that.
Thank you. Other questions of Judge Hernandez?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Talamantes. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge. Be safe on the way back because it's raining.
Oh, it is?
It is, it's raining outside.
Okay.
3.6, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 4, Mr. Alfredo Martinez for the months of December 2025. Morning,
Good
Judge.
morning, Your Honor, Commissioners.
Morning.
Other questions of Judge Martinez?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Your
Judge.
Honor.
Be careful on your way home.
Thank you.
3.7, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from District Clerk Ms. Marisela Gonzalez for the month of December 2025.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Gonzalez. Yeah, she turned it in. You can use that one. Yes, sir.
Oh, it's over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No grand
I'm
jury,
not seeing her.
no grand jury, Ms. Molly.
No grand jury, Judge. I am pleased to announce that on the 26th of this month, Judge Flores will be conducting grand jury via Zoom. That's interesting to me. It's
Yeah.
never been held that way. So we'll see how that goes.
So she will be doing the thing via Zoom, for the
Everybody
panel?
has, the juror cards have gone out with a Zoom link, and they've been told what time to log in. And so I think what I'm going to do is to talk to our IT department and see if there's a way that we could use the big screen that's mounted on the wall, so that if there's any people that do not have smartphones or devices where they can use to log in, they could definitely come into the courtroom and
Utilize the.
utilize it, yes.
Wow.
And you said the 26th of
Of this month.
this week, of next week? Okay.
And just for reference, Judge, I heard y'all talking about the employee parking or the county employee parking. We do have a 2,000 person veneer coming in this Thursday at the historical courthouse. So parking's going to be
An issue, yeah. Thank you for letting us know, Ms. Molly. I appreciate that.
Miss Money, I'm not seeing your report.
It's on the side here. You can have it. She brought it separate.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. That's what I'm. Well, exciting things then, exciting
Yes.
things. That's great for y'all. Motion to approve?
Any other questions? I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Lonnie.
Thank you.
3.8, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Clerk, Mrs. Claudia McDaniel, for the month of December 2025.
Judge and Commissioners, I did have a couple of items that came up last week that I did want to bring to your attention, and I'll put them on the next agenda. We're having to change the precinct 2 polling location from the old band hall to the library museum.
Excuse me.
The band hall is no longer really usable for us, so we're going to go to the museum. I've already spoken to Mr. Ortiz, and he's approved it. So I just need to put out notices, and I'll get an order brought to the court so that you can formally approve them. And then, also last week, I spoke with Rhonda Pelton from the Zavala Dimmit County Water Improvement District. They are possibly having an election on May 2nd as well. And it's coming up, I think the next item, for the joint election for the Water District and Hospital District. I might have to come back and also get a joint agreement to include them as well. She doesn't know she'll have enough candidates to have an election yet. So,
And you said that was in May?
May 2nd. So as I get more information on that, I'll bring it to the court.
And you said what precinct was moving to the museum? Precinct 2?
Precinct 2.
I've already alerted the candidates for precinct 2 specifically, and I'm going around and letting everybody else know as well.
Correct, and we had it at the band hall, because I thought we had it, no, you're correct, I'm sorry, that was another precinct, so at the museum.
Any other questions of Ms. McDaniel?
Motion to
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second, thank you for the information.
Motion by Commissioner Linden, second by Commissioner Talamontes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.9, discussion and appropriate action, approval of interlocal agreement for Dimmit County Clerk's Office elections to conduct a May 2nd, 2026 joint general election for the Dimmit County Hospital District and the Winter Garden Groundwater Conservation District. As you heard, I will just reiterate what Mrs. McDaniel said. This is an interlocal cooperation agreement in which Mrs. McDaniel would work collaboratively with the elections administrator, which is the CEO of the Dimmit Regional Hospital, and Mrs. Debbie Farmer, who's the election administrator, so that the county would be the one facilitating the elections. And that's, we need to have an interlocal agreement. We've done it in the past. This is just kind of memorializing that.
I'm sorry, you said this is kind of, we've always had, or just like an updated,
No, we've, in the past, have had an interlocal agreement because we've held it.
So it's just like an updated?
Yeah, and to memorialize it on document. I have a motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.10, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report for Dimmit County Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. David Torres, for the month of December 2025.
Excuse me.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm having a report right here. As you can see, for the month of December, we had a total of 6 calls. We did have multiple grass fires, as well as two motor vehicle accidents, with one being a fatality. That was the one that happened on 277. I'm sorry, this one happened on 83 south of Asherton, between Asherton and Catalina.
Questions of Mr. Torres' report? questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
Judge, I just have a quick question. I know recently there was a conversation about the quarterly reports. I just want to make sure, are we still doing regularly or we're doing, the quarterly reports? 'Cause I was getting two different stories from two different people. I just want to make sure. From another agency, elected agency.
Okay, so I think that what we had agreed on was any department that was funded through the county, like the departments, you would have to submit a monthly report every month, but you didn't have to be here only quarterly. So you would be able to submit your report, but not have to be present for
Oh,
it. And of course, if we did have a question, we would be able to, and it would help if you can submit them so we can get them in needed speed. So
mhm.
that if we do have a question, we can request for you to be here, but you're not obligated to attend and present the report every quarter is when you're.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that, but that's fine, I'll come every time.
Does everybody agree with that? Is that what we agreed to?
Yeah,
That's what I took on my understanding.
unless you want to.
Yes.
Unless I want to be, okay,
Yes.
all right, that's, oh, I just wanted to clear that up, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. 3.11, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase a brush truck with diesel upgrade from Siemens Modern Emergency Group in the amount of $236,368 to be purchased under the Texas Forest Grant.
Explain brush truck to me.
Okay, brush truck it's one of our smaller brush trucks, man.
Uh-huh,
So it's either like a F-550,
okay.
it's kind of like a regular work truck. It's about that, it's gonna be around that size. It's not a larger brush truck, it's a smaller truck that we
And
have.
it has a tank?
And it has, yes ma'am, it has
So
a fire
similar
tank,
to
it has
like a
all
water
the
truck?
equipment needed.
So like similar to like a water truck?
No, it's an actual, brush truck is the way it is, fire. Yes, ma'am.
And how many do you have?
The smaller brush truck, we have one, ma'am, and that one's,
Current-
that small brush truck is
current
13
brush
years.
trucks, yeah. How many brush trucks do you
Yeah,
have?
we have one right now, small brush truck, yes.
And is there, are you having any issues with it or?
It's just, it's already had it's already been through, work, and it's already been 13 years since we've had a smaller brush truck. We do need another one, just due to the fact that, those smaller brush trucks are easier to get into the, ranch areas than our larger trucks that go in there.
Okay,
And they're able to fit a lot more. And this is the one that we got through the grant, so the county pays, the county pays 10%, and then the grant covers 90% of the cost of the truck.
okay, so this is
So
a
the
grant.
county would be paying about $24,000?
Yes ma'am. No, I'm sorry, they pay, if it's, one that's right here, the county would pay, if I'm not mistaken, it's, I think it's a hundred, I think it's 100,000, because they pay the 90%, and we pay the 10%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but 10% of 236,000 is 23,000.
Oh, okay, yes, you're correct.
So do we pay 23 or 100,000?
It's an 8, and I believe we paid 100,000, I think, it's from what I might, if I'm mistaken.
Is it add-ons that you're maybe saying that the price is going up? Is there any add-ons to the truck or is it all fully?
No, it's whatever, it's gonna be the outfitting, how much the truck is what it is. It's gonna be the price of the truck, and then how much it is to outfit with the emergency lighting, with all the skid unit and everything else.
Yeah, well, I was gonna do with my COs.
Wait,
What is, manager?
Go ahead.
What it does is, the chassis itself, it's close to about $90,000. And then when they do the add-ons, it comes out to $167,000. And what it is right now, you can't find no brush trucks at that price, because they're all, there's two quotes, and if you look at the quotes, they're basically the same. The only difference is, I think in one is 10,000 or something less than the one that we got from. So we're trying to go with a lower costing truck. You don't get no fire trucks, because even the brush trucks or the trucks that the other entity got, they got the grant also, but it's running close to about $400 and something thousand per truck. So right now, there's no cheap trucks
I
available.
understand that. My question is because it says it's gonna be purchased under the grant, but technically it's not being purchased in full by the grant. You're saying we have to pay a certain amount. And so
We're paying 160,000.
Yes.
the county,
Yes,
100 and what?
160 something.
160,000?
Yes.
Yes, and the truck, Texas Forestry, instead of the truck costing us 200 and whatever it is, it's gonna cost us 160,000. Because the county's gonna get reimbursed 165,000.
So the county's paying it upfront?
Yes, and then we get our check. It's just like the insurance and everything.
Well, the county's paying for it in full up front, but the grant's gonna cover a part of it, but what the county still has to pay out of pocket is 160,000?
That's correct.
How often are grass fires? Like, I know we've been in a burn ban for a long, long time, but like, are you ever on a call and do you have like the manpower to support 2 calls at once?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Yeah, and just recently we had we did have a grass fire there off of 2644.
Okay.
And then there was also one that we got sent out to just yesterday. They're in Catarina as well, but by that time it had already been extinguished by some passerbys.
Okay.
And you said the 160,000 is gonna be paid by what, Commissioner? The 160,000?
The Texas Forest Service.
No, the
All they get
160,000.
out of the COs. Our checks don't.
By all means, I want to be able to provide y'all guys what you need to be able to operate and safe. I'm still having issues because I know that in Bagels we have nothing. And so my next question was gonna ask is if you were getting a second fire truck, would you be utilizing or placing one somewhere else for access? That way you can get the calls quicker outside of Carrizo and outside of here?
As far as putting a truck somewhere else, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like, because I know that you have one bay in Big Wells that is there, like sharing out, or maybe in Asherton, or, I know Asherton has a volunteer fire department, but.
Yeah, as far as, I don't know, since we are covering for Big Wells, and I understand they do have a smaller brush truck, but I don't know the status of that. But as far as that, I'm not aware of that. We will be, as of the moment, we'll be providing a truck over there if we were awarded this one to get.
Judge,
That's something
the only way it'll work is if we place a truck over there, you have to create like a substation, and the members of the people, we have to screen, go through the applications, and then they need to become part of Dimmit County Fire Department. We cannot just put a truck over there, even though we got one day because of the insurance purposes. Big Boss is classified as Big Boss Fire Department under the FFMA, the State Fire Marshal Association. I discussed it with Mr. Pereira. I wanted to put a truck over there. I suggested for me to place a truck in Big Boss, and he said no because there was nobody that was there for the Dimmit County Fire Department. Unless people, the citizens there become affiliated with Dimmit County Volunteer Fire Department, that's the only way we can put a truck there. Other than that, we're not able to do it. I tried to do it several times, and several times I was told.
But you do have a volunteer firefighter that is from Big Wells. You
Ma'am.
actually have 2. There are 2 of them out there, and there's still me, and there's still the constable as well. I mean, if I need to sign up to be an entity to do it as well, I would be willing to do that, because this last New Year's, what I had to do, or what me and constable had to do, was get my water truck and get that ready just in case we did experience a fire, because as you know, 20 minutes out is 30 minutes out at that, maybe even 40. I've never timed the response time, and I don't want to disrespect them, but there is a volunteer firefighter out there that is associated with Dimmit County. He does come and he volunteers over here. I've seen him on the list, and he does live there. So it is possible to do it. Like I'm saying, I just know that since I've been in office, we haven't had any assistance from our Dimmit County fire station, and we are still part of Dimmit County, And unfortunately for us, we don't have a lot, but our mayor has even also welcomed the idea of doing what he needs to do to be able to assist. I did go back and have literally the city and us, we get our water trucks ready when we do need to, and that's what we're doing. So we're pretty much fending for ourselves out there. Again, I don't want to get the conversation hostile, but before my time, a fire truck was lent to the constable before that, and they would use that fire truck on 4th of July and on New Year's. And it was lent to the constable to be able to do that. He got another employee, which that employee also worked for the county, so was bonded by the county as well. And he was able to assist him. We did experience a fire last New Year's. This year, thank God, we were ready, but we didn't experience any fires this year. But again, it's just, are we gonna be actively moving towards that? Because I have a whole town over there that's scared and underserved, and to the point where we have to rally together to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. We're used to it, but I do know that it's a possibility that Dimmit County can help us a little bit on that sense. And even if it's not over there permanently, I mean, purchasing another truck, you would have an eager spread of the load to make sure that we're getting serviced as well. So I'm gonna motion to table until we discuss.
We got a certain time on this grant, so.
Motion to table.
A motion to table by Commissioner Talamontes.
Judge, I have a question. My question is basically trying to get the package together, the value of the truck that's stated on the documentation.
Yeah.
You were asked earlier, that comes with a tank, and you said no, but that comes with a skid.
The skid unit is what it is, sir. I'm sorry, it's, the
So
skid
it doesn't
unit,
have-
yeah, it comes with the, it's gonna be, it's a tank, it's a, poly tank with, foam, with the, I think it's a 10 or 20 gallon foam tank, but it comes with a pump, everything, all the plumbing that's gonna be installed on there.
300 gallon, 400 gallon tank?
It's gonna be, I believe we have it at, we believe we were able to, they were able to make it up to 400 gallons.
400?
Yes.
Where's that info at, David?
I don't think the one that we submitted, I think, the one for Sid and Martin didn't, for some reason, the individual didn't put like the breakdown of the truck.
Metro did.
Metro did, yes, sir, yes. Metro, fire apparatus, I'm not sure if that was also included with y'all. Metro fire apparatus is the one that has the, breakdown of, the entire truck.
So
I
the
mean,
truck's
lighting-
gonna be basically ready to operate once it gets here?
Oh, yes, sir, yeah, no, it's, however we request it is the way that it's gonna be built.
There's no gonna be any other added?
No other add-ins
Maybe
as we get it, no. Everything, once we, if we were to approve it, they start production on the truck. Lead time, I don't have an exact lead time because they're still getting more chassis sent to the company. So we could be looking a couple of months, we could be looking at least 6 months maybe, up to maybe 8 or 9. But once they go into production, the truck will be built the way we had originally made it for the quote. There's no add-ons, and then it'll be ready to go once it gets shipped out to the department. Well, of course, after all the paperwork with the insurance and everything on those trucks, then we'll be able to operate the truck.
I have a motion to table by Commissioner Talamontes. There's no second.
Motion to
Is
approve.
there any other motion? I have a motion to approve.
I have a quick question for you, Mr. Torres. Is
Yes,
there
sir.
any way that you can get us, just for purposes of justification for the constituents, like the breakdown of
Yes,
the
I
cost of
will
what is
get that to
actually,
him. I'll make contact with.
of what it's gonna cost the county and what's gonna come under the actual grant? Just
Yes.
for
Yes.
transparency, because on its face, it looks like the grant's gonna pay for all of it, but if they're not, just so that we know how much county's paying for, because Commissioner Carmona's telling me that he's gonna pay for the remainder out of his seal, but just so that we know how much.
Yes, I will get you where the paperwork that shows how much they're gonna pay.
the full amount up front,
Uh-huh.
and the grant's supposed to reimburse the
Yes,
county.
the grant is supposed to reimburse
What was the
the
percentage?
agency.
He said 90, but it's not 90.
Okay.
It's, so it's, cost of the vehicles, what is it, 236,000
Yes.
or something like that? Excuse me.
Judge, do you think it's wise to approve though, not even knowing how much we're gonna get back?
I just told you, ma'am.
You're not sure on the percentage, Mr. Guerrero?
I'm not saying
It's, I understand your,
Because at this
Position.
point, we would be losing more money rather than saving some. I would understand if there was a possibility that we would get back, possibly a little bit more, but right now, we don't even know how much we're crediting back.
so based on your testimony, Mr. Torres and Commissioner Carmonas, it reflects that the grant is gonna cover about $76,000 of that 236. The grant would cover 76,000, and then the county would pay the remainder, 160,000. Which that's,
Okay, I would need to get with you on that one, Judge, as far as the,
so it's about, the grant covers about 30% of the cost, and the county would cover the 70%.
And that's not far off from writing.
Excuse me. So I have,
So do we have the amount stable?
We don't have the amounts at all, it's just based on what Commissioner Carmona is telling me.
One of them is 236.
236,
We do have the amount.
we have 236,368 is how much, is what I'm assuming it's costing, right, Mr. Rose?
Mr. Perez, how long until the grant opportunity, like how long do you take advantage of this grant opportunity?
Yes, right here.
how long should we take?
Yeah, like, how long do you have until, so like you can take advantage of this? Like, even if it is only 30% of the grant is gonna cover, what time frame are y'all working on?
Since we had already, they had already sent us the paperwork saying that we were awarded the grant, I know we have at least maybe another, I believe if I'm not mistaken, I think we have another, since it was done in November, I think we have maybe until the end of this month to go ahead and I guess, get the approval to get the truck. If not, we lose the grant, and then we won't be able to apply for another year, or we won't be able to apply another time if we try to get another apparatus.
I'm sorry, when did you say you were awarded the grant?
We were almost at the end of November is when they finally said that we were approved, and then we got all the paperwork. We were waiting for the other companies to send us their bills, not the bills, but the paperwork for how much it would cost us to get the truck. And I believe the quotation date was, since we had just requested before, I know one of them was done in December 10th of 2025.
Is that normal for these grants to only allow you 2 months to be able to utilize those funds?
A lot of times, yes, ma'am, because since they're only awarded they're only awarding certain departments, usually they do have a less lead time, I guess.
At the same time, so it's
Yes.
about 2 months since you've been awarded
Yes,
the
ma'am,
grant?
yes, ma'am.
And you have that in writing and paperwork?
I would need to check on that for you, ma'am. I would need to check to see what the grant says,
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
just to confirm.
Yeah, just to confirm, because that's interesting to me to see that they only allow you guys 2 months. But again, I understand that I've never been through a grant process for the fire department, so. But if you can provide me that paperwork and that legal documentation, so that way I can reference it there.
Yes, ma'am. I can confirm that for you.
Thank you.
Judge, I'm going to second the motion to go ahead and move forward with the obtaining this truck. I'm still going to state that I hopefully am looking forward that you and Chief can perhaps get together with Commissioner, maybe find a medium to the situation in favor. I'm not going to tell you how to run the department, but I know that y'all are good enough people to understand that perhaps y'all have the capability of helping, so, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one.
I have a second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
Aye.
Can we add that we get the award letter, copy of the award letter
Yes.
added to it?
So,
The auditor has it.
if we can, Mr. Torres, obviously, the vote has been to move forward with the purchase, but, with the stipulation that we get, if we can get, as Commissioner Noguera stated, we can get the, I guess, the itemized on the award letter.
Oh, yes,
how much
yes,
we're-
we'll
how
get
much
that
the
on the
county's
truck and
actually
then the
gonna
order,
pay.
yes, correct.
Judge, if, man,
Mhm.
we accepted the grant, the court, a while back, and then we started working on the truck, so it took time to get all the quotes. But it was approved by Commissioner's Court to accept the grant.
We have one opposition, Ms. McDaniel, and, that's Commissioner Talamantes. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Torres.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3.12, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Victory Ambulance for the month of December 2025. Good morning.
Morning, ma'am. We ran about even with the city, huh?
Yeah,
61 each,
yes.
that's all.
Yeah, it was odd.
Questions of Mrs. Ortiz?
Yes, how many 911 units do we have running right now?
We have 4.
And one is always reserved for county, correct?
One is reserved for county, one is reserved for city.
Questions?
Motion to
I
approve.
have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
3.13, discussion and appropriate action, approval of the Edward Brin Memorial Justice Assistance Grant 572001 resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So, these next, aside from the 3.13, 14, 15, and 16 should all say resolution. So now, this year, the state has required that all resolutions be approved and submitted before I even apply for the grant application. They will not accept my grant application without a signed resolution. It's due February 12th is the deadline. So that's why I have it here on Commissioner's Court. This Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant, it's still in the works of the Sheriff's Department. This would be for the Sheriff's Department. They're still looking it over to see exactly what it is that they would want to request. I haven't started this grant yet.
And you said that this one was due in February?
Yes.
So these grants, these resolutions, all of them, 3.13 and 3.1 through 3.16, are simply for the purposes of pretty much giving her the opportunity to apply. That does not necessarily mean that we're gonna get the grant, obviously, but as Ms. Rodriguez mentioned, the law changed in September 1, I think, this September 1, that now in order for us to apply for any grant through the e-grant system or through the governor's office, we have to have a resolution in place. Before, we could just apply and you can get the resolution after the fact, but now you have to have the resolution first, then you can apply.
Yes, I must upload it. It won't let me submit the grant without an uploaded resolution.
And I'm sorry, and I just to ask him, and I know that I can't ask you, for the man that came the second time last time. I know that we're running out of time for that one.
The flooding.
The
Oh, you're
noises.
talking about you're talking about for the rivers.
Yeah,
The
for the
rivers.
rivers and the roads, because remember, it would still have to include the roads. I'm still having a lot of issues.
Well, it wouldn't technically cover the roads, it's for the Nueces River Authority. So it would kind of like, somewhat dictate roads on there, but their main goal for the Nueces River is to, GPS, so to speak, rivers and bodies of water.
But we did ask him, and he did say that it would be included because they had to take in that information to, like, for the rivers, and so it would be like an updating mapping. And I know that's not on the agenda, I'm just saying, because I know that we were running out of time on that one as well.
We were anticipating on putting on the agenda, excuse me. We're waiting on Mr. Pereira to give us a green light because there was no funds allocated for that in the budget. So we're trying to figure out where to get the funding. But we have 30 days, I think. We have
Which was from last commissioner's court,
30 days from last commissioner's court, and that's why I'm a little concerned, because even if we did have to do like a monthly payment, I know that they all.
It was a yearly payment, right, of 30,000?
I mean, yes, and yearly,
Yearly.
of
30,000.
That was something too that we could pull out of the COs that received this year, so that way we could be able to do that, since it was gonna benefit all.
I think it would have to be from other COs, Commissioner, because the COs that we got for this year were allocated for different funding already. Like they weren't for that specific, because we didn't know about this, grant for this Nueces River Authority. Kind
Until
of,
like December.
yeah, it came kind of out of left field. So from what Mr. Pereira advised me, like I said, unfortunately, he's not here today, but
Convenient.
from what he told me, was that he was trying to figure out where to take that money from because we had not it comes out to a total of $376,000, I think, in total, but $36,000 for the next 10 years or something like that.
Okay.
So he advised me. I don't know.
Because, yeah, like I was
We
saying,
anticipate on putting it on the next agenda, but
if we pass the 30 days at that point.
I think there's enough time,
There's
right?
still enough time.
There's still enough time because Ms. Hernandez called to find out last week to
So
make
we still have
sure.
some time
We
to
have
think
maybe a couple of weeks into February to find out. But you might want to speak to him because I don't know if your position is that you're going to get mapping on roads too. And maybe you'll get some roads, but it's not like, they're not doing roads. If their main mission and purpose there is bodies of water.
Yeah,
So
and, but
you might want to ask.
I did have a conversation with him afterwards, and he did say that they still have to, it's an updating mapping of the entire county, which I think that we desperately do need, because the last time that those maps were updated, I think they said in 71, if I'm mistaken.
I mean, there's mapping that's been updated through the tax appraisal. Maybe Commissioner Odena, since he sits on the board now, he can try to find out, but I know we get a lot of money for the, what is it, Commissioner? The drone things, right, the cameras?
Yes,
For the mapping
the
of.
Pictionary.
Of the mapping through the central appraisal. Right, is that correct, Ms. Mary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've had.
So there's updated mapping, but there's just not updated mapping for bodies of water.
Okay.
Ms. Salinas, you said this one is for the sheriff's office, right?
Yes. But they're still looking it over to see what they want to request.
So is this just you start the process to see if there's anything you don't like?
Yes.
So the Edward Brin Commissioner Ducal, that goes through Middle Rio Grande.
She knows.
Yeah, you remember.
Used to have this one.
Any other questions? Thank you, Commissioner. I have a motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Ducal. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.14, discussion and appropriate action, approval of the state and local cybersecurity workforce development grant 5728201.
So this one is for our IT department. I started this one, I've already completed the other one, the one on 3.15. This one, we've met several times with Commissioner Talamantes as well as IT to see exactly what it is that they wanted to request. For this workforce development one, they're requesting funding for training to do with cybersecurity for the county employees, as well as maybe possibly hire or request funding for another position.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Ducal,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.15, discussion and appropriate action approval of the state and local cybersecurity mitigation grant 5729001.
So this one, is also for the IT department, but this one specifically is for software and the servers so that we can upgrade all the software and servers for the county. There is a 30% cash match, which I have advised Commissioner Talamantes. So that would, the total will come out to $321 that we're requesting. The cash match would be $110,000.
That's what we would have to.
And those servers are well over, 10.
Some are well over 10 years old.
Going back to 314, the total amount, do you have that one?
No, I haven't applied for that one yet. I've actually already started it today.
The only one you've applied for.
More on the second one. So, yeah, he's been focusing more on that.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.16, discussion and appropriate action approval to Operation Lone Star FY27 Grant 4375905.
I'm asking that y'all guys table this line item. We're still haven't come to a resolution for the current Operation Lone Star that we're on. I don't know if you guys are aware, but our grant is on fund hold. It's been on fund hold since the beginning of December. The state is requesting a letter of support from our county attorney. The sheriff did provide a letter of support, but it was from our district attorney. And the state is now requiring that they have two letters, which is the county attorney and the district attorney.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the Lone Star, is that OLS?
Yes.
And then you also have a training
Yes.
that we approved recently,
Yes.
right?
That comes with the Operation Lone Star.
So are we gonna apply?
Well, we need to have a letter of support from the county attorney in order for us to be able to apply. So right now, we're not gonna be able to get funding unless we get a letter of support from our county attorney, in order for us to move forward with Operation Lone Star.
Okay, now I'm getting, this is all coming together, and this is what we're talking about. So what have we done to be able to secure that letter?
My distinct understanding is Ms. Rodriguez, you spoke to Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes. I spoke with Mr. Gonzalez. He advised that the county judge and the sheriff have asked him for the letter of support. And until then he won't consider until then.
Okay, so the county judge nor the sheriff have asked for the letter of support.
That's correct.
And you're requesting the email format as you requested, or?
Come to my office or go to their office, what's the problem?
Okay,
Door's always open.
okay.
I'm gonna,
I think we can
So
send an
you're-
email to
so-
I'm
memorialize
not
it.
gonna accept an email.
It's a request, Mr. Gonzalez. This is not
So you're willing to
affecting.
provide it as long as it's requested from your office?
Issue.
Yes, sir.
In 2024, I got $10,000 in Operation Lone Star. The court never put it on the agenda so the contract could be approved. Here's a copy of the agenda request, and then through Selena, I got a PO. That was denied by Mr. Pereira. I have to show this during the budget also. Now, 2025, they didn't have the courtesy to come ask me for a letter. They asked me if I would support it. No, because they didn't approve my grant for 2024. 2025, what do you all do? You approve a resolution in Commissioners Court saying only the county judge has the authority on that grant. So why do you need a letter from me? Nobody came to ask me. And then I'm told that the sheriff had the state rep, Mr. McLaughlin, send me a letter saying we need to support the grant, and nobody will ask me for a copy of the grant or for my letter of support. They bypassed me again, went to Mr. Sedna. When that didn't work, I get a call from Mr. Pereira. Last Wednesday was the first time Selena came to my office and asked for 2027. She said that at that time that we were not going to be applying for a grant for 2027. And I said, no, send the request, the wish list out, because if the judge doesn't want to apply for the grant, I can be the administrator.
Okay, so you can apply for the grant through your office to be the administrator for us to secure that grant.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, the grant has to come through the county judge because it's the E-grant. The county attorney, Mr. Gonzalez is saying in Maverick County, The county attorney in Maverick County is the one that applies for the grant, but the county judge in Maverick County still has to be the authorized person. That's just the way that the grants are. And we've explained that, or Selena has advised, she's explained that to Mr. Gonzalez.
Don't say we when you've never talked to me about the grant, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, I
You
have.
refuse to speak to me.
Mr. Gonzalez, I have, we have, and I'm sorry.
Don't lie to the
You
public.
obviously just said right now, even Ms. Commissioner Salamantes asked you, if we send you an email, the sheriff and I send you an email asking for.
Door's open.
I understand, but to memorialize it, I can send you an email, and that's still not good enough
Did you
for
want a meeting
you.
with me to discuss it? Sure.
I
Send
could
me the
discuss
email.
it, I could discuss it with you, I could go in person, and I will simply ask you, I can ask you right now, Mr. Gonzalez, can you please give us a letter of support? I don't know what else you want me to tell you.
Because when Selena asked you to do that, you said that's not gonna happen.
Yes,
Why?
because Selena
Why?
advised me that.
Because you refused to talk to me.
Yes, because Selena
You don't wanna
advised
work.
me.
It's all politics with you.
No, it's not politics.
But
I
you
don't-
already told me that you weren't gonna support it, that's why I was
Exactly.
in hostage.
That's why, exactly. You have told us that you're not gonna support it, so why would you go and ask?
I was not gonna support it. I told you the reasons why. You refused to.
Mr. Gonzalez, you are getting upset. This is why he's upset, because he, like he said, he didn't get any money.
No,
I didn't,
he's not
Mr.
getting
Gonzalez.
money.
Mr.
Judge,
Gonzalez,
you cannot
Ms. Rodriguez, what did he tell you?
request.
What did he tell you? He was upset because he only got $10,000 for gas, and I don't even know why the governor's office gave him $10,000 for gas if they didn't give him a vehicle.
I don't think it's so much that he was upset because of the gas. He was upset because he had gotten money for Southern Software, and when we requested it, Mr. Pereira denied it.
Okay, but that, what does that have to do with the county judge? It has nothing to do with me.
I put it on the agenda, two agenda requests. You have a copy.
I understand, Mr. Gonzalez, but I'm not the one that denied it. Ask Mr. Pereira.
Why didn't you put it in the agenda? You're in control.
Let's try to come to
You
a
told me you
reasonable
cannot handle
discussion.
Commissioner's Court. You can't handle it. I told you, step down.
I'm not gonna step down. I'm not gonna do what you want me to do.
So
That's
why
what
did
you
you come to
want.
my office and say, let's switch places? I should run county judge and you should be county attorney.
I'm not-
Don't lie.
Yeah, I did. I
Right.
did because you want to run and micromanage every single department, and I'm not gonna do that,
Ma'am, I
Mr.
stayed
Gonzalez.
out of Commissioner's
You
Court to avoid
you
saying
told Ms.
that.
Rodriguez that you were not
You
gonna
hired
apply
a
for the
private
grant,
attorney to,
cause I can't work with you, I'm sorry.
There you go. You
I
refused to work with
can't,
me.
look at how you're acting right now.
'Cause you
It's
refuse to work with
unnecessary, it's very unnecessary. You have asked the sheriff and I to go in person, to go talk to you. Why can't I send you an email asking you to do it? This is not affecting me,
Okay,
it's
Judge,
affecting the sheriff's
How is
office.
it right for you to tell the sheriff he doesn't have to come to my office to talk to me? When I have issues with his employees, I don't deal with his employees. I gotta deal with the sheriff.
That's y'all's business, that ain't my
All right,
business.
so why
Don't
do
try
you
to
tell
put
me he
me
doesn't
involved.
have to bring cases to my office?
I didn't tell him, I never
It's
talked to the
Commissioner's
sheriff.
Court, review it.
He,
Review it.
go ahead.
Okay, so
Go
first of all,
ahead.
Selena, I want to thank you for going to the office and, trying to secure the letter and asking for it if nobody had formally asked for it. I'm going to be extremely honest right now. I've known that you've gone to his office to complain about certain situations over me particularly. I don't understand why it is so hard for y'all guys to just ask for the letter for him. I think that us having to go above and contact Don McLaughlin and everybody else, I'm gonna say that if he has to have a letter of support and he needs funding for his department,
Well,
then
we don't delegate what
But
his
Judge,
funding
and right now-
is. We don't
and right now-
delegate it.
and-
I don't tell the governor's office delegates who gets what. Am I correct, Selena? They're the ones, I can't control that the governor's office gave Mr. Gonzalez only $10,000. I can't control that, Commissioner.
Okay, but
I'm
we
sorry.
can still work together, we can still work together as Dimmit County to make sure, because at this point, and I'm trying to hear everything that everybody was saying. I know that the sheriff said that you didn't ask because he flat out told you that he wasn't gonna support it. You said that you
The same
have,
thing, because Ms. Rodriguez told me, Judge, Mr. Gonzalez wants you to come and talk to him, but he did tell me he's not gonna support it. So why am I gonna go talk to him if
because
he's
you
not
are the
gonna
county
support it?
judge, because you are.
And
the
I've talked to
county-
him about it before, but he doesn't
You are
want
the
to
county
because
judge,
he's
because
upset.
right now you
No,
said
this
that
is
it's
the
not your
history.
problem, you're still the county judge.
Mhm.
And if we're approving for trainings for you to go get for this, but you have no, because right now you said that we're not gonna apply for it, so if you're going.
Well, we cannot apply for it without his letter.
Okay, but you're going to trainings and we're spending money as a county for you to go to trainings on a grant that you're not even seeking or willing to go ask for the letter of support, so then why are we approving for trainings?
Well, I can ask for the letter of support. I won't go, I'll be more than happy to go ask him. I'll send him an email as well. It's not that hard. I'm just for me to
I would
go,
appreciate
I
that,
want,
and
I want that.
sincerely-
Did I not tell you that last week, Selena? I have no problem.
Sincerely and honestly, I would greatly appreciate that because I don't know how much, but I do know that OLS helps out a lot and it helps
Oh,
out the
we bought the sheriff, millions, thank you very much.
1.3.
1.3 million, and this is like 1.3 million that we're talking about, so if I need to
We
go into
bought
your
the sheriff,
office,
how many
if
cars have we bought
the
the sheriff?
sheriff
Like
needs to go into the
5, 6
office,
cars?
if the sheriff
Nine.
needs, if the sheriff
Nine,
needs to
thank
go
you,
into
Sheriff.
the office, or we need to send emails or take our emails with us, this is not no small chunk of change that we're talking
It's
about.
not, Commissioner, and I understand that. In 2024, they didn't ask me for their support. I came after the grant was approved, tendered my letter to Selena. I work well with Selena,
Okay.
all right? She comes and talks to me. I didn't even tell her, do this, but don't tell them I said so, because they won't approve it, all right? The last time the sheriff needed cars, I told Selena, here's the deal, he needs the cars. Tell me what you all need and why I need to support it, and that the money's not gonna be misused, you'll get my letter of support. But when you refuse to talk to me because you have personal vendettas against me, or don't like me, then you pass a resolution for 2025, then ask me for a letter. The deadline was March 13th and 15th of last year, then no request from anyone. Not even a courtesy call, not even a courtesy email, like we're willing to do now. You go pass a resolution, which you all approve, you got a copy of it, and then you get a letter from Mr. Sedna, bypass me again. Then Mr. Laughlin sends me a letter insulting me, saying, like, if I don't know the crime in Dimmit County, I prosecute those cases. I'm the only one that can tell you how many cases we prosecute in Dimmit County. And you've seen the list.
Yes, and I still haven't.
Talk to me about it.
And yes, I did, and I was about to say, I know that I've gone in and when we were having that issue, I did go into your office because I wanted to understand what was going on. I just feel honestly, as elected officials, and with all due respect to everybody that's involved, as elected officials, we sometimes have to do things that we don't like, and sometimes we have to swallow our pride and humble ourselves for the greater good of everybody. And I understand that we cannot tell the sheriff to go into his office and to give him the cases, but maybe trying to work towards a working relationship so that way the people don't get underserved and we don't get underfunded on what's possible for the sheriff's office. And as well, Judge, too, I know that I understand that you said, but I've told you this many times, you're very convincing when you want to be. And this is something that you can definitely put some energy towards to make sure.
Commissioner, I'm the one that brought Operation Lone Star here to Dimmit County, and Selena can tell you that I'm passionate about it. And I'm passionate about it.
And I'm not trying to sit here, and I'm not trying to make the situation more hostile.
Thank you, I
Literally,
appreciate
I
that.
really just want for the three of y'all to be able to come to a working relationship and do what needs to be done. I understand that we cannot tell the sheriff. I understand that politics plays a big role in this, a big, big role. We cannot continue to move forward the way that we are. And if having a sit-down conversation is all he's asking you, on my end, it's the least of decency of respect that we can go into his office and sit down and say, what are your issues, what are your problems, what are your concerns, and then work towards a resolution. If he's saying he hasn't received any money and he didn't receive any money,
I'm still going to prosecute the cases.
I know.
That's my job.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Whatever issues that we're having, we can sit down and have a conversation to make sure that everybody's needs are being met, so that way we can have the working dynamic. But if nobody's willing to speak to him or ask him for it, or even a simple letter of support, then I'm sorry to say it, but then what are we doing up here? Because at the end of the day, you still have a caseload that isn't being moved. It's gonna affect all your grant process. We're approving for you to go to trainings for this, and you have no interest in applying for this year's grant, all simply because you don't wanna go into his office and have a sit-down conversation. When I've known you gone to his office over other situations, to me, it just seems a little bit, and excuse my bluntness, oxymoron to say, I'm gonna let go of millions of dollars just because we don't wanna have a conversation with Mr. Gonzalez about it.
You all have seen me before, when the sheriff was in his budget or he needed something, I stand up here, I come up
Yes.
here and stand beside him. He needs more cameras for his jail, so that we won't get sued. I'm pro law enforcement. He needs vehicles. The sheriff was the only one, when I didn't get any money, that offered to give me any money out of what he got.
See, and that's
And
what I'm
I
saying,
thank
there's
them
a
for
working
that.
relationship there.
We talk on other issues. When I need stuff for protective orders, I can still communicate with the sheriff's office. He'll get me what I need. If I need officers to come testify, I have to subpoena them, because that's what he requires, and I'll subpoena the officers to come testify in court. But what I need, and what the misunderstanding is, I've got cases that are not being properly prepared. He knows how to do it, because he was a former investigator. He used to come in with Marion Boyd and discuss the cases with me at times. You know, I just had a conversation with Mr. Boyd, he goes, yeah, I remember that. So, I just need to point out any defects and say, correct this, because, with DPS, I had a liaison officer. I don't have one anymore.
So it's just one time that you're requesting for him to go in your office? It's not every case, every case?
Straighten this out for me.
Okay.
I don't wanna be rejecting cases because they're incomplete. Now, the code of criminal procedures, and the code has been modified, it's now 28209, they signed an acknowledgement saying that stated the case is complete. The last case I got, I rejected because I couldn't view the videos. I had the officer in my office, couldn't review the videos. What they didn't tell me is they have a new system where they can download their body cams now, and we got that after the fact from one of the other sergeants, said, hey, we'll help you out. So there's still some communication there where we can get what we need when I need it.
And I have seen you come up here and advocate for the sheriff's office, and I've seen y'all guys work together on other things, so then I'm starting to wonder, maybe there's a miscommunication issue or not a direct conversation issue that's not allowing y'all guys to get, because I didn't know, and I'm being 100% honest with you. I thought that what you were requesting the judge to do was the sheriff to do was take every single case load. Is that what you understood too, Sheriff?
That's what's on his desk right there.
Okay, and I thought that it was every single one, but now that we're hearing from him and just a little bit of conversation and communication, he's not requesting for you to do that. It's just a one-time thing to be able to say, this is the issues that I'm having and this is what's coming.
I have no problem with that.
And
here's the deal.
y'all guys are communicating. Y'all guys can communicate. The both of y'all guys do the best that you can for both your offices and departments. So honestly, what's being shown is that Sheriff, you and him, y'all guys are able to come to a resolution and conclusion together, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that are dealing with the victims and having to look the victims in the face, right? And discuss it. So I see both of y'all guys being able to work this out with the caseload. I'm not saying that the conversation needs to happen here in Commissioner's Court. I trust y'all guys to be able to do that, yourselves.
And I
But-
want that, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because when the sheriff tells one of the deputy clerks that, well, you know, I'm not gonna take the cases, I'm just gonna wait till the statute of limitation runs, and then they're gonna be dismissed, I have a problem with that.
Well, yes,
I have a
yes,
serious problem with that.
of course.
Because you're not taking them.
You don't bring them.
Well, see, there you go, you want me to take the case.
But
There you go.
it's just a one-time
No,
as
no,
well.
no, no, you want me to take
Okay,
every
but
case.
have we tried one time, and that's what I'm saying,
No.
I'm asking.
I was in his office the other day, he requested for me to be there, I was there.
He was.
Okay.
And I told him, we'll discuss the other
Can
issues
we
when we
sit
have
down
time.
and just do it one time, even if we need to put a training, even whatever we need to do, and we need to think of the victims. We really do need to think of the victims in this situation. I know that the both of y'all guys, our hearts are in the right place, but even if it's a one-time conversation, and then inform him, this is gonna be the only time that I'm coming in here. If you're having issues, then set your standards and say, Mr. Gonzalez, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna try to create a system to see how we're gonna do this. I'm not able to come in every single time, nor am I willing to. If you think it's a waste of your time, I honestly don't expect you to go every single time to go do it, but a one-time conversation is what I'm respectfully asking because of the caseloads that is there. And even if it's only one time, I will give you every single benefit of the doubt from here coming on board, because it's one time. If there's 97 cases,
There's more than that, 150 something.
150 something cases, it's gonna take one trip to get 157 cases to be seen and for us to decide what we're gonna do about it. It will leave us eligible to be able to apply for grants. We're gonna solve every single problem just by simply sitting down and having one conversation. I don't think anybody should be involved in that conversation, because I'm telling you, looking at you, I feel that if y'all guys communicate together and you're able to communicate over other things, y'all guys can figure this out for yourselves. I understand setting your standards and letting him know, Mr. Gonzalez, it's gonna be one time that I come in here and do this. Let me know what you want. This is the way that we're gonna communicate, whether it be via email, whatever the case may be. But a one-time sit down to address the issue, because if you're not willing to communicate with him and you're not willing to communicate with him, but then everybody's willing to put their input and say, oh, well, Solita said, oh, so-and-so said, we're all grown grown adults here. We should be able to confront each other and have civilized conversations to get to resolutions, because at the end of the day, it's the tax-paying people and Dimmit County that is suffering right now, and all the victims that are not getting any answers. And I know that you're passionate about it, and again, I know that you are, because you're quick to serve and protect as well. We need to just be willing to have this conversation for the greater good of everybody. As far as the OLS grants, I am grateful that you did bring them into Dimmit County, Judge, but again, being able
They were
to,
applied 2 years before she came to office.
okay, I don't know that for sure. I would appreciate, sincerely appreciate requesting it, whether it be via email, then you can protect yourself, because at this point, you haven't even sent an email. That would have been the first thing that I would have done, so that way if you came up here and said you never requested it, you would at least have a via email. Even if you got shut down, you got told no. We walk up to people's houses and ask for votes, and a lot of the times we get told no. I mean, we do it on a daily basis. I just don't understand why here in the courtroom, it's not something that we're willing to do.
I never said it was nothing that what was not willing to do. I've talked to Selena about it before. She knows.
Okay, because right now, what
I'm not gonna sit here, this is not a platform for me to sit here to argue. I know my position. All I'm gonna say is I have gone in the past to talk to Mr. Gonzalez. I've talked to him before about the grant before, and he had his concerns and he was upset. And it's very hard to sit there, and I'm not gonna try to bring anybody in. I will speak for myself and myself only. It's very hard to talk to Mr. Gonzalez because he gets upset. I'm not going to sit there and spend half of my day arguing with Mr. Gonzalez over items or things regarding this grant or anything else that I cannot control. The last time I talked to Mr. Gonzalez, the last time I talked to Mr. Gonzalez, he was upset. He was upset because he only got the $10,000.
Wrong, Judge.
It's okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm not gonna argue, I'm not gonna use this platform to argue with you. All I know is that he,
Put my grant, my contract on the agenda to get it approved.
and I will tell you what I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you over and over again. Mr. Pereira advised me that we could not get the grant. I'm sorry, he's not here exactly. It's real easy to cop out and not be here. He's not here. But all I'm gonna tell you is that I can advise you that it's very difficult to sit and talk to you about anything because you get upset, and I'm not going to argue. I don't want to argue. I don't. And that's, Commissioner, anybody can sit here and say, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I've had conversations, and it's very difficult to talk to you. I'm not going to do that. I will take my full accountability, and it's hard to talk to you. It's hard to have a conversation because you get upset over matters that I cannot control. I cannot control, and you can ask Selena. That first year they gave you something. We made phone calls. Why? To me, I think it's ridiculous. You should be getting more than the sheriff or more than other people because you're prosecuting the cases. I agree. I was a prosecutor. I don't know why, other than we were advised, Mr. Gonzalez, allow me to finish. We were advised that the reason why was because you wrote a hateful email to the governor's office, to DPS, and they decided not to give it to you. Is that not what they said, Selena?
What's the hateful email?
You cursed at them, Mr. Gonzalez. You cursed at the DPS. Yes, you did. The sheriff sent me the email, and after that happened, we got back the grant, and they didn't give him anything. How is that my fault? That is not my fault. And he got upset, and it's the judge doesn't want to give us anything, and we're in county court. We are in county court. And that's why this is not a platform to be bringing all this up, but y'all want to bring it up. Ms. McDaniel can tell you, we're in county court. Let's be professionals. And we're in county court. I'm sitting here as the county judge. And we have the clerk, and we have other coordinators, and we have the sheriff. And Mr. Gonzalez is always throwing jabs at me. Well, the judge didn't want to give me no money with the OLS. The judge didn't want. I don't give the OLS money. The governor's office does. And I eat it. I don't fight with him. Do I fight with him, Ms. McDaniel? I do not fight with him. I stay professional. Why is it okay that he can continue to throw jabs and not make it political, but Marta Ponce sits up here and it's political? I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I will go, and I will ask him for an email. I will ask him to get us the letter, which I'm doing it right
I'll
now.
give you a signed letter, the original letter.
I will do that.
Because
I will do that, but I'm not gonna sit here and be nobody's piñata either, and let us pretend like we don't know how Mr. Gonzalez can react.
Guys, we're already on the,
You react to it.
we're out of the, we're out of line already.
Thank you,
We're just here to discuss
Commissioner Rubalcaba.
appropriate action on approval of the Operation Lone Star.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubalcaba.
Requesting for it to be
We're out of
tabled.
line already. Exactly.
Mr. Gonzalez, what will it take for us to get the letter for the resolution?
This is what Selena and I
So
talked
it
about.
can be done.
This is what I talked, Selena and I talked about. She said, well, we're not gonna send a wish list, is that correct?
Usually what I do is, as soon as the grant opens, I send out an email to all of the elected officials and people that can benefit from OLS, asking them for them to send me their wish list.
Have you done that?
No, because I don't,
I recommend you do that.
yes, he did, but,
But you chose not to because you said that he wasn't gonna give us a letter, is that correct?
so after I spoke with the judge, she said, well, we still need to take care of this first,
All right.
so I have not.
So you have not reached out because it,
Yeah, well, I don't wanna
She chose
send
not
out,
to.
and then we haven't even resolved this issue yet.
she still works.
What I want to see is what the county needs. I don't have a problem when the sheriff needs things or other departments need things.
I see the possibility for working dynamic, because even if that was the case and they only gave you this much, y'all said right now that the sheriff was willing to even give him money, correct?
Well, he
We
did,
were all willing to.
Okay, so the sheriff was even able to give him money, but it didn't go through because the PO wasn't approved.
No,
Then why,
we put it on Commissioner's Court,
that was 2024.
yes.
but y'all guys get where I'm getting at, like even despite all of this, the sheriff is still willing to help, and y'all guys are still, there's a certain working relationship that is there. It's there. I think that there's just either a communication issue or somebody that's throwing wrenches in the pile that it's not getting there, but if we operate off of hearsay, we're never gonna do what we're elected to do.
What I want is, if we're gonna get money, that it's not mismanaged and misused.
So
That's
you just
all I
want- So you just want to be involved in where the funds are going or where they're using?
I don't want people complaining, well, look what they did with this land, look what they did with this, this piece of property that you got for Operation Lone Star. I don't need to hear those complaints.
Okay, so since is this the largest grant that we applied for?
Well, it's one of the largest,
One
this
of the
one is
largest
Stone
grants?
Mhm.
So then can we do it to where we discuss about money allocation in commissioners' courts? That way it's open and
Every
transparent?
time that we have to purchase something, Commissioner, we bring it through Commissioner's Court. All the vehicles, we bought 9 vehicles for the sheriff. They come through
Okay, so
Commissioner's
maybe,
Court.
but that's what I'm saying, maybe we can tweak it a little bit to benefit everybody, so that way it's staying transparent. And what we can do is get the funds, and every quarter, or whatever it is, as the funds are being utilized, we get a report of where the money is going.
On my quarterly report, it's on my quarterly report,
But like
not the
just-
auditor's office.
But
according to the-
just for this grant, just to keep track of the big grants that we're getting, get them out, and then every quarter we report, this is what went here, this is what went here, and then we provide copies to everybody to stay transparent.
Those quarter reports or those reports on what's being exhausted during the course of the grant period is not being provided to us by the auditor's office. You know, the auditor's office complains that it's Selena's fault for not giving them what they need to close out the reports. I just spent close to 3 months completing Senate Bill 22 and 24 years because the paperwork was not done at the auditor's office. I worked with Virginia. I couldn't get numbers from Mr. Pereira, but Virginia would call me, go to her office, she'd come to my office. We closed out those reports. And, you know, with Senate Bill 22, they're blaming Selena, and I said, no, don't blame her, it's not her fault. You guys do not provide the ledgers for each employee that's getting money through the grant, and that's not her job. Those are the battles you guys don't see that are being fought on the outside. You know, I'll defend her every single time on those issues, and she knows it.
Yeah. And like I said,
And I'll defend the sheriff, because it's
and
not his
I've
responsibility.
seen you do that, but I mean, at the same time, like you said, I'll stand up for the sheriff was willing to give you money. So I see the working dynamic there on both offices and both parties. If the sheriff is willing to give you money and you're willing to stand up for the sheriff and advocate for the sheriff or what the sheriff needs, the dynamic is there to be able to come to a resolution. I think that if you're asking for one sit-down meeting, maybe schedule the meeting with him, ask him to come in, so that way you're both prepared for it. If he said right now that he went into your office on a different matter, and you did go into the office, correct? You're willing to do that, maybe sending an email to solidify, like, hey, Sheriff, will you come to my office so we could sit down and talk about this?
I can go to his office again, the last time I went to his office, he wasn't there.
Okay, but.
Yes, sir, I was at the auditor's office.
Okay, because what we're seeing is all these departments and all these offices that are supposed to work together to benefit the county, and it's not working right now, so we need to try to fix it. And I cannot tell either one of you to do it with all due respect, but you can set the standard and dynamic of us getting back on track. Because again, if y'all guys work together and y'all guys communicate and y'all guys can both say and help Selena with the judge's office and say, hey, we're not getting what we need for the auditor's office, it's gonna be a lot more than just one person saying and another person saying. It's gonna be a unified team working together for the greater good or the greater cause of everything. So, would you like an email? Would you like for them to go into your office? And I was even gonna imply, we can even put it on Commissioner's Court. We can even put it in Commissioner's Court and ask you
Whatever
here.
it takes to help this county run.
Okay, so would you suffice with being asked in Commissioner's
Just
Court?
don't
if you
go
place-
around my back and say, we don't need you because I can pass a resolution to Mr. Court, I can get a letter from Mr. Sutton, I can get this in that Bronco send it.
And I understand your hostility.
I think that
Excuse me?
it's been clear, we need the letter from
Yeah.
y'all. That's what I doubt. So
But-
even if somebody's opinion is that,
I know that.
the fact is,
Why are they going around
we
me?
need the letter from you. Well, I think at this point, we owe to our people to put all our differences
Yes.
aside. And we all live in the same town, we're all from the same community, we all are here to serve our people. And I know everybody very well, and I know we're all good people to get this done. So let's just move forward from this point.
She can have the letters this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
I
We
appreciate that.
appreciate
I
that.
really,
So now my
really, really
question
do.
is,
Or
do we
26
still
and
need the
27.
resolution? We still need the resolution, okay. We appreciate your help, Mr. Gonzalez, and
Yes.
anything we can do to help you, by all means, I know Selena will work with you on this grant, and we're here to help. So,
I don't want other departments to do without because nobody has the courtesy to just ask me simply to provide me a letter. And 2024, they didn't ask me, 2025, they didn't ask me, and 2020, it's 25, 26, 24, 25, and 26, 27. You know, just out of courtesy. Whether I approve the grant or I'm in favor of it or not, whether I apply for a wish list, which I didn't do in 2025, because I didn't think I was gonna do anything, and if I required a contract to be approved, I didn't think it was gonna be approved in Commissioner's Court, so why? I didn't send a wish list. And I'm not probably gonna send one for 2027, because I don't feel like I'm gonna get any money, since I'm blackballed by the governor's
well,
office.
maybe with this process now, Mr.
Yes.
Rodriguez coming up with her reports, we'll have, not a say so, but at least we'll all be up to par as to where this funding is being utilized.
The problem with DPS is that they weren't preparing their complaints rights so I could prosecute the cases. They want the officers to witness all their complaints, a fellow officer, without identifying them by badge number and a legible name. And where DPS got upset at me is they said, well, the magistrate Del Rio approved that it was a.
We will start with Commissioner Odena, precinct 1.
Judge, I submitted a report, of course, we continue to have issues on Cascola Road due to the flow of 18-wheelers from vacuum trucks to dump trucks. I did have a meeting with two owners within the area that own property on Cascola Road, and their concern now is that they are going through personal damages as these trucks are unable to stop on they're not intersections, they're 90-degree turns. So the momentum does not allow them to stop and they run through the places. So at one point or another, it's supposed to be on this agenda,
It is.
a request to install speed bumps in between the so-called junction points to try to slow down the truck traffic within that area. Aside from that, as y'all may know, well, everybody knows, we've got our interlocal agreement approved with the city, so we've been working with them as well.
Any questions of Commissioner Odena? Commissioner Precinct 2?
Judge, you can see we're cutting grass and patching out potholes on the county roads and taking care of most of the roads have been kind of fair now. So we're doing good on the roads. And right now, like I said, we're just taking to and patching the roads and cutting the grass and mulching them down with the branches with our mulching.
Thank you, Commissioner. Precinct 3-6?
Judge, I'm gonna turn it in on the next one. I try at least once a quarter to go out and drive my roads myself, and I did do that. I just didn't have time to finish the report and do the report being shorthanded this week. But I will have it to you on the next report.
Commissioner Noguera, Precinct 4, 5, and 7?
Judge, we've been working on the county roads, Carrizo Hill Street, we use asphalt. Buddy's Lane, we use limestone. Talamantes Road, we use asphalt. Also on Catarinas, we've been working on the streets in Catarinas and Diamond Age. And I know you're gonna see an increase on our Vulcan PO because now the price went up for asphalt. So it's $1,700 to $2,000 a truckload just for asphalt.
You're already doing asphalt?
Like to cover the potholes.
Oh,
We
okay,
use
that's
asphalt,
what
but we
I
buy
was
like a truckload. and-
CS material.
Because
Thank
you
you.
don't need the equipment that we have there?
Yes, but we're gonna stockpile first,
Okay,
buy it first, then use it instead of using it and then having to go to Ubalde, wait 2, 3, 4 days and then get more material.
okay.
So
So
we
Thank
now
you.
I can just make sure I'm not ready for you, so
Yes,
that way you need it. And then also too, I don't know if you are aware of the road that had an accident down
It was not due to the road.
it? Okay,
It was
okay.
due to something else. I asked and I called the
Okay.
sheriff's office. So I'm also working, Judge, with Mr. Danhill to see how we can do on Buddy's Lane and to see the funding that's available to fix or do what we can with Buddy's Lane.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a motion
So moved.
by Commissioner Carmona to approve precincts 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. I'm going to table precincts 3 and 6. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.19, discussion and appropriate action approval to designate approximately 5 cubic yards of donated raw material to classify it as salvage material.
That would be 500 cubic yards, Judge, and that's material that was left over from the stockpile that was donated, I guess it was donated by Texas, but it came from the FM 186 reconstruction.
Okay.
So there's 500 cubic yards that we would like to designate as salvage.
Commission, this salvage material is available for anybody in the county, correct?
Salvage material, when you designate a stockpile of salvage material, if somebody needs material for, let's just say a washout on their private property, they can come in and pick up some of the salvage material at a controlled amount. We can load them in our yard, but we cannot deliver it to their location.
But I get that, but I'm saying like this material that you're classifying isn't just for the people in your precincts, it's for anybody that's needing any material, they can contact you.
Right, it'll be at the precinct 1, but
Yes.
as I've said before, if anybody needs any of it, it's available.
Open to all Dimmit County.
Right, as long as they contact their commissioner
Okay.
to notify them, because just to let you know, Commissioner, a lot of times, we've had individuals come in and say, hey, so-and-so said that I could come get material, well, they'll play some tricks in the book, so it's important that we keep communication.
And it's just because I don't have any of that material available to give out, so that way if anybody from my area calls me and asking me for some, I know to send them in your direction because you have that.
Okay, whether you happen to need some, there's some at the yard, aside from these 500 cubic yards, and you could also keep some small stockpile on your yard if needed.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Talamantes.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.20, discussion and appropriate action approval to allow Texon to utilize the ballroom on March 5th, 2026 for their annual safety banquet.
Judge, I placed this on the agenda, being that TxDOT requested the authorization to utilize the ballroom for their safety banquet. I'm not.
Are you asking
I'm
to
not
waive the
requesting
cost, or what do you?
Not to waive the cost, because we cannot do it for such a thing as free, but perhaps the court would consider giving them a special rate, and that TxDOT assist us with materials and in many ways throughout the year.
I was about to ask, is there any way that we can sign an interlocal agreement with TxDOT?
We could, it would have to be a written process and it's approved by our legal counsel and the county judge. But we can work on something like that. But because of the fact that we do not have a interlocal agreement right now, that's why this request is on the agenda.
So what price are you suggesting? Because I will second to advocate that TxDOT does work really well. I've been able to contact them a lot of times and ask for assistance, whether it be clearing up like road locations or like needing basic assistance. Mr. Moreno has always been willing to help. He's even offered training on some of the equipment to make sure that we're operating our equipment and for safety reasons, you know, giving us rundown of everything. So what price are you suggesting?
I would request to approve a $50 day rate, because it's going to be for a couple of hours. It's just for the safety banquet, not an all-day ordeal. But I would request that it be set at $50, and we can either all split it or I'll pay it.
Okay, motion to approve for a $50 rate for the TxDOT safety banquet.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes, second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries.
Commissioner Carmona said we were split.
Yes, we'll split.
Okay.
3.21, discussion and appropriate action, approval to accept the donation from TxDOT.
Excuse me, Judge, should I abstain on that? Because
You can if you want. Are you abstaining? No?
You
No.
have enough information to make a decision.
Approval to accept donation from TxDOT light poles, geogrid rolls, and approximately 352 cubic yards of CS material and fencing supplies, precinct 1.
Yes, Judge. I placed that on the agenda, and there's some pictures that were placed on each commissioner station, showing basically what the donation consists of. And it's some rolls of geogrid. There's some light poles. There's some spreader box, and it's just good material, fencing supplies.
Yes.
So we don't necessarily, the only thing that we're allocated at this point is the CS material, because we're planning on resurfacing Sign Road. But I did want to mention that the the poles for the lighting poles, I know Commissioner Roca in the past mentioned that she may be needing some. They're available if she needs them, and some of the fencing supplies as well. It's just there for wherever needs it.
Motion to approve.
Any questions? I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion appropriate action approval to install speed bumps on Castleall Road due to excessive use of trucks causing property damage.
Judge, on this item, it's going back to my road report. We're trying to control the speed of the trucks. We have had a constable go out there and assist, and he issues out several citations, as you probably know, but as soon as he departs the area, the trucks go back to speeding. And one of the only things at this point, a starting point, is to install some speed bumps in between each junction point or intersection, somewhere to speak. Hopefully, it will cause the trucks to downshift to where by the time they regain momentum, they're driving slow enough to be able to make the turns without running off the road.
motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Carmona, second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor? Motion carries. 3.23, discussion and appropriate action approval for Commissioner Valerie Belisa Talamantes to attend the 68th VG Young School for Committee Commissioners Conference, February 17th through the 19th.
Judge, this was the training that I missed last year, and it proceeds, like how Commissioners Court, I've pretty much kind of learned as I've gone, so just asking for this training so that way I can be up to par on Commissioners Court's proceeding and anything that I may not already know.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.24, discussion and appropriate action to clarify the commodities ordering process and the role and responsibilities of the commodities clerk to ensure consistency and transparency for all commissioners.
Judge, so this one we placed on there, I did contact Commissioner Rivagavra, and she requested that we have the conversation in court rather than together. So basically, this past commodities, I received the order form, but I didn't receive a budget or anything to work off of. When I contacted Maribel and I asked her, I didn't receive, any of this information. She told me to just go ahead and fill it out and that she would fix the numbers on her end. And I told her that I wasn't provided a budget either, and that what I thought we were gonna do, what we had discussed in Commissioner's Court, was this last time. So Maribel went ahead and proceeded to do the order form, and then when I received it on email, I contacted her and I asked her if I was able to make any changes. She said, go ahead and give me the changes and I'll see if it's available. And then me and Commissioner talked about it and said, hey, if it's not gonna be available, just be understanding that it may not always be available for those changes. And we agreed and we said, like, absolutely, if I miss the time frame and I'm not able to make any changes because Maribel already submitted it, or I didn't catch my email in time, that was something that would be on my end, and I would have to get, what Maribel did. So when they gave me the order form, I wasn't provided a budget or anything with it. I do understand and I do take into consideration Maribel's roles and responsibilities, and I know that during that time, she was also working with the water donation, I believe was the day of. So I understand she was stretched pretty thin that day. But when I did say, is this how the ordering process is gonna go from here on out? She did inform me that it would work better for her if I did that, so that way she wouldn't have to be doing double the work if I were to change it. And I was like, that wasn't what we discussed, but I didn't continue the conversation with her. We ended up there, and then that's when I ended up contacting Commissioner Rivagavra to clarify what was the process that we were gonna take. So this is just to be able to clarify on what process are we gonna take as far as this go. I thought it worked out better for me the first time. I can respect and take in understanding that if I miss a deadline or you're not able to do it for whatever reason, that's fine. I did send her an email and I asked, are we waiting for approval of another commissioner, or like what's going on here? I know that Commissioner Rivagavra has made it very well known that she doesn't interject in that department. Honestly, I'm here to see what can we do, and if we can't get to a reasonable conclusion, maybe consider transferring the department to the county judge, so that way it's all fairness for all commissioners. It would be something out of the commissioner's hands, and it would go directly to the judge.
So, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, commissioners, the way I understood it the last time, Commissioner Talamantes, was that Maribel was gonna give you a list of food that was available,
Yes, ma'am.
and that you were going to pick out the food from there and send it to her, and then she would order it.
That's not what we discussed.
I'm just saying that's the way I recall.
That's the way I recall too, that it just
I
as long as
don't-
she had input, or the commissioner wanted to have input on the orders, for me to allow them to have input. So whenever I sent Ms. Gracie the order form for January, I basically just did that. I know what I was asked to do in Commissioner's Court, what I sent out to Ms. Gracie. And the reason why I got to Ms. Calmantes is that the reason I feel it's better this way is to give you input from the very beginning versus us having to be back and forth with the shopping order to avoid hiccups and to avoid delays then. Last time, the month before the order had already been submitted, I did tell her, I have to see with Laredo to make sure that they haven't pushed out to the warehouse. Because once it's pushed out to the warehouse, we can do changes on the order. Because they seal them, it's around wrap them, they've seen the way the orders come in. So it'd be more work for them. So that's why whenever we got approved on the 5th or 22nd of Commissioner's Court to allow them to collaborate with me as to what they want to be ordered for their orders, that's all I understood was just, allow them to pick what items they want, nothing about budgets, nothing about, what else, what other duties. But I would also like clarification on that. If they're gonna have other duties, responsibilities to the commodities, I do want that clarified because it was just approved that to allow them to have input on selecting the items that they wanted for me to order for their site. So, if there's a different way to go about it, we can go about it, but we do need to clarify here what all each commissioner is gonna have to, entail, because, I mean, as far as budgets and so forth, we didn't discuss budgets, we didn't discuss any of that, it was just to allow her to select the items that she wanted for her site.
So I feared that, like, if I selected and I shortchanged, I was gonna receive less, and it wasn't gonna get updated on here, and that's why a guide, and that's why I was saying, the last commissioner's court, before we discussed it, and we said, we'll follow the same process, Maribel. The last time, I know that you sent it to me, and then I asked, hey, was I able to? Then you said yes. I didn't, tell you, hey, do this, and then you said yes, and then we had to do it. I understand that you said that it was already submitted to the food bank, but just giving me the opportunity, because again, as a commissioner, there's a lot of times that I won't have the time to sit down and pick absolutely everything and go through that whole process. You're increasing my workload as well, and it being your department, I was just assuming that you were gonna just give me what it is, and if I made some keynote changes, because at that point, I would just be able to select, like, let's just say, for example, you pick frosted flakes, but I'm like, you know what, let's get the chocolate ones instead this time, whatever it be. If you got green beans, and I said, you know what, let's go ahead and do the mixed vegetables this time, I would be able to adjust, but I wouldn't have to worry about the quantity or ordering under or over.
And that's what I mentioned to you in the conversation, was like, all of we were asking for you to do was for you, or all I was asking for you to do was just to select the items that you wanted, or Miss Gracie wanted for me to order for you guys. And like I did tell you, I said, I'll do the numbers. For Big Wells, I always order 90, quantity of 90 families. When you submitted your order, it was way less than the 90.
I did my best.
Yeah, it was way less than 90. We submitted it that way because I did not want to be responsible for any altering any numbers or anything like that. So the way the order came in, is the way I submitted it. But we do order for a quantity of 90 families for Big Wells, 140 for Asherton, and for 300 for Carrizo.
And see, and this is where I'm getting at, where I'm shortchanged now than this time, and you didn't look out for the people over there, because if you said that I ordered under 90, you didn't correct it on your end either to make sure that the people got their credit.
Because I'm afraid of you coming up here, like you always do constantly, it's always something, it's always false accusations, false statements. And we can't work together if you're always bringing up something. Like every time that we do an order, or every month, it's always something. You find something to pick about every month with the commodities that we just need. I honestly need to know what it is that you want. If you do want the commodities, we can switch over to Big Wells.
What false accusations do I?
Ms. Salamanca, you come up here and you said a lot, even in Laredo at the agency meeting, you went out there, you complained to Ms. Bubel, the director, that we only gave you 40 turkey kits a month last year. That was a lie. We gave you 70. You come up here and stated that Big Wells has never received any produce. We have logs where Big Wells has received produce for the past 2-3 years.
But when I came and I spoke to you in the beginning, Maribel, and I asked you and I told you, Maribel, why aren't we getting produce? And you're like, I'm trying.
Produce, we don't get produce.
Okay.
We don't get produce on the shopping list. Produce was a grant during COVID.
I did ask you. I asked you and I came directly to you and I asked you and I said, Maribel, you're like, I've been trying, it's because you get the second hand, because Dimmit County.
I've never mentioned that you guys got the second hand. What I did mention was the reason why you guys get a little bit different is because Laredo has always wanted us to do one distribution in Dimmit County. They always wanted us to be in Carrizo. Out of courtesy to everybody in Big Wells and in Asherton, so they wouldn't have to come to one location to pick up in Carrizo. As it is, we already have a long line when it's just Carrizo. To avoid having a longer line, everybody fighting for the 500 quantities that they bring for Carrizo, to bring everybody in here, it was not going to work out for anybody.
Okay. So
and we wasn't going to know who was going to receive it.
So what other false accusations?
Another one, but Commissioner, it is legal to deliver. It is legal to deliver. We just cannot deliver to the houses. Private residents, we can. We cannot deliver to the houses, because once you deliver to one, you have to deliver to everybody. And that was something that was discussed back in Commissioner's Court for previous administration to avoid the liability of animal incidents, or not knowing who's behind the door, behind the gate. We're not going to do residentials. We're only going to do the private residents.
So then it is illegal from the food bank to be able to go deliver house to house, or to, what did you say right now?
It's legal to deliver to the private residents, which is the private housings.
The private housings, okay. Because I know that you said, and I was going to say too, because I know that it was like a first come, first served basis. So if you guys went to go deliver gift cards, that means you got to pay.
We did not deliver gift cards.
Then
we did not deliver gift cards.
How did you distribute them if you were at my yard?
Commissioner Valerie just started distributing her site. I went out there to go and distribute out there afterwards. I went to go help you. I went to go help Asherton. I went to go help Katarina. And I went to help Carrizo.
Because when I
everybody
asked you,
to distribute,
and everybody was there, and I asked you, and I said, Maribel, you're here, and you're like, yes, I'm here to help you because I have to be the one to pass out the gift cards. And I said, oh, okay, I said, but if you're here and you have to pass out the gift cards, then who's doing it for Commissioner Rubalcaba? And you said, oh, we're gonna go after lunch, is what you had said.
We started,
So then
Patsy
you
started
picked
right
and-
before. Patsy started before I got there.
So you picked and choose, but then you.
No,
have to-
I don't pick and choose. I went to every site to get signatures to avoid being accused of giving a small amount or not the right quantities like we were the year before. So we got signatures and I got those signatures for Laredo.
Mhm.
Laredo needed signatures and proof that I delivered those cards to where the sites they needed to be at and the right quantities. So that's why I went to count in front of Gracie to get Gracie's signature. Same thing I did with Rubalcaba. Same thing I did in Carrizo in front of Flo and everybody for precinct 2 and 1 over here.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that you feel that I'm always nitpicking on something, but when I first came into office, I did go directly into your office and tell you that I felt my concerns about the situation. And I did come to you directly and we did have a conversation. I thought that that conversation was great. I didn't know that you felt that I was nitpicking on absolutely everything. But again, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get what we deserve out there. And it's with the second complaint that I received. But I don't think that I've ever falsely accused you of anything. I didn't question
It's just a bunch of,
something.
you belittled me in Commissioner's Court instead of coming to my office and questioning and, talking about things the right way.
But I've done that.
You've just blurted out things.
I tried that as well, Maribel.
You've not, Commissioner.
Yes, I have. I've
You've
gone into your
not.
office in the beginning and I have gone into
The
your
only,
office.
the only time that you came into my office, probably, I don't recall our conversation for the very first time, but the second time I recall you came into my office when you came up said, asking me to get you all the information for the pantry you wanted for Big Wells. It was that October. That's the
But
last
I went
time.
into your office upset.
You were upset. You wanted me to get, it's your responsibility. You do what you gotta do, and do what I gotta
Are you serious? You're under oath right
do.
now?
I am.
Yes,
And a lot of people
yes.
heard you, Commissioner.
Okay. No, I did not come in and speak to you that way, and I've never spoken to you that way.
No, yes, you did.
No, I did not, ma'am. No,
Yes, you
ma'am.
did.
And if I did, I would own it and I would say that I did. But no, ma'am, I did not. I did not go in there and I did not speak to you that way. I have never spoken to you in a way that's disrespectful or anything like that. I always speak to you the same way that I'm speaking to you right now because at the end of the
That
day.
was a totally different tone. It was a totally different tone.
May I just,
But, go ahead.
I just want to say something very quick. This seems to be fairly similar to the situation we just went through with Mr. Gonzalez and everybody involved. Look, and as you may have just heard, the people that are affected are people, our constituents. You just mentioned that the order was short and you submitted like that. So somebody was short food that.
But I didn't even receive an email or
But
courtesy.
what I want to get to is, once again, let's put our differences aside. You have Miss Gracie, right up, Miss Gracie?
Ms. Gracie,
Okay.
to eat.
If she's gonna be helping on the commodity side, coordinate with her perhaps. And I know we can talk about this and get this done for the sake of the people. I know you're trying to better the product and you're perhaps trying to get
It's the same thing over and over again, and that's what we get on
That's
the
fine. But I think we're all good enough people to be able to talk to each other without, there's gonna be differences and there's gonna be disagreements, but let's put those aside and move forward. I feel that it's the most important thing. If we're gonna be able to do anything for the people, we're gonna have to do it together. That's just the bottom line. So I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. I'm not blaming anybody. I think we had a consistent pattern of how you were handling everything with commodities.
So that's why we're here today, to clarify what her responsibilities are.
Okay, so whatever works for both of you. If you can put the order together and then have Gracie review it or have the commissioner review it.
And I got to the point where I have, I'm emailing because I was told as well that I called you and I harassed you over the phone. Was that true that you said that?
No, it was on the email you sent me. You did a harsh accusation that I was creating an unhealthy environment for your employees. I don't even communicate with your employees.
No, I didn't say that.
It's on the email.
But we can
It's on the
we
email.
can bring it back. I said that we were creating, not you, that we were creating an environment if we weren't able to get on the right track. It wasn't against you. And honestly, if you go back and read that email, I had nothing to do for you because my standpoint from the beginning was that I sympathized for you because I understood that you're working for all these departments and you have to take the endpoint and listen to the entire court. And so honestly and truthfully, if I'm being honest with you, it wasn't against you. It was trying to figure out what is going on that I'm not able to. And again, the fear of me being shortchanged ended up happening because that was my number one thing. is that I didn't want to do it and then us be shortchanged, but I did do it to the best of my ability because I didn't know how much to order. I didn't know how much money we had, I didn't know how much was allocated to us. So I kind of went in blind a little bit, but then again, I took your word that you said that you were gonna fill it in on your end. But then you didn't do that because you said that you went ahead and you left it like that. So again, what I feared happened, even though I trusted in you to say, okay, she said to fill it out, so I filled it out the best that I could. I tried to get everything, that I could, and then I was expecting to you, but you didn't contact me and tell me, hey, you were short. I mean, obviously you just said right now that you didn't adjust it or anything like that. If I'm not speaking to you in a tone or a manner, you always have the right as an adult to come to me and be like, do you mind this way? Do you mind that way? At the end of the day, I can respect boundaries as long as my boundaries are respected as well. I never knew that you felt that I was being hostile towards you. I don't think that I came in for the food pantry hot. If I did, it was probably over some other issues, but I never remember disrespecting you. Here in Commissioner's Court, that had still nothing to do with your end. I know that you're running all these different departments. I know what you're doing. I know that you do Metro. I know that you do everything else. But my whole point is, are you waiting for direction from another elected before?
I'm not
you-
waiting for direction from anyone.
And that was the only question that I had. At the end of the day, we're both adults and we're grown women, that we should be able to have a conversation. And I tried, because again, I come to you and I've come to your office as you admit that I have, but you haven't come to me or addressed me any concerns or any issues. And how do I know that I'm addressing you in a way that you don't appreciate if you don't voice those concerns to me? Be like, hey, Commissioner, do you mind us having a conversation? Or do you mind addressing me this way? How am I supposed to know what's going on if you're not willing to communicate with me or speak to me about those things? Because this is the first time I've ever heard, other than the time that they said that you said that I harassed you over the phone, this is the first time that I ever heard that you haven't liked, because truthfully speaking, this is nothing against you. But having the uncomfortable conversations to making sure that all the departments are running for the best interests of the people is gonna happen. And we need to be able to have those conversations for everybody. Again, what I feared happened. We're gonna be short this year and I trusted in you to be able to bring it up like you told me that you were. I did the best that I could. I'm not trying to sit here trying to pick and nitpick, but the people do complain and I have a duty to my people where they say, we're receiving the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I don't have time to come and just see, okay, not even how is it going, but at least having the input to say, you know what, instead of mixed vegetable this time, let's go ahead and get corn, or let's go ahead and get green beans. To give me those options to be able to adjust a little bit is all that I was asking for. And if I didn't communicate that to you where you completely understood or anything, a simple clarification or a phone call would have been really, really helpful for the both of us to get on the same page. And again, it comes to the point that I don't want commodities. I don't have the load for it. I mean, I don't think that I can handle it right now. And I'm not gonna take a department that's gonna affect a whole lot of people that actually need those necessities. But if it needs to go under the judge to be fair and transparent for everybody, then I'm willing to move it to the judge. That way it can be consistent and it can be fair for everybody. If that's helpful for you, we can go ahead and do that as well. So I guess I'll motion to move the commodities department to the judge's office.
I have a motion by Commissioner Talamantes
What was the motion?
to move the commodities to the judge's office.
So that way it's out of the commissioner's hands and there's no back and forth on it.
And you're okay with that, Judge?
I mean, I would have to bring a commodities person to,
Group of employees.
Or you can even take Maribel. I mean, Maribel can still do it, but it goes through you.
It's still the same thing.
No, because.
Maribel is gonna be handling the commodities.
Do you want to be relieved of the responsibility of commodities? Is that what you want?
I love doing it, but if it's gonna be creating all these problems, then yes.
But if there's an action item right now, Judge, or
Yes.
does it need to be put on?
No, it is. It's an action item or to take appropriate necessary action.
Is it?
I put it on the thing. If it wasn't there, you can bring up the order form, but I did place on there, or to take necessary action. It was on there. You can get the agenda form.
On the agenda,
It
it was
says
written,
to-
it says to clarify the commodities ordering process and
And
the
then
role
it'll
and
say-
responsibilities of the commodities clerk to ensure consistency and transparency for all commissioners. And I'm gonna speak about Maribel. Maribel has been doing this job for 12 years and she's been doing a damn well job about it. Until now, we've been having issues.
And I say issues because we have not had any issues before. We brought this up, now we're here to discuss this. Maribel did the best that she could, because we told her, we were here when we voted Commissioners Court to do the ordering, that's what she was gonna do, give you the ordering, that way you can see and you can get what you wanted. That's what she did, she gave you a blank order, that way it was a lot easier for you to decide what you wanted to order, instead of her putting the order and then you changing it. It's not double the work, because she's been doing a hell of a job on it. Also, I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding that she didn't order more than what you ordered, but she was trying to avoid problems or you getting upset that there was different issues where you ordered.
Why would I be upset about ordering more than
Judge,
what I asked?
Judge.
I know, but why would I
Commissioner.
be upset about ordering more than what I placed on there? I would understand if she ordered less.
And then that would pose a real issue to say, okay, you didn't order what I want, but I don't understand where y'all guys
She
are saying.
already felt like she was being targeted for, with
But
you
didn't
having
have-
issues.
Yes, and I even called you too to have a conversation with you, and you
And I
didn't
told you,
want to have a
I know,
conversation with
because
me.
I didn't want to say something and then for it to be something else, so I said, we'll discuss it in Commissioner's
I
Court.
know, you could have fixed it.
And that's-
for me,
that's
to
what I
make sure
heard.
that we weren't shortchanged.
So that I apologize, and I'm sorry for that, that
Yeah.
if you are, shortchange it. I don't think you will, and if you are, we have food at our pantry that we can give to you to make the difference. But I understand her way of saying, you know what, I left it as it is, the way you ordered it, that way there was no changes, and I didn't do anything wrong, or maybe change something that would upset you.
Because it was the input that I was asking for. It was never the thing that I wanted to do it. It was just the input that I was asking for. That was it. But when I received the order form, it was blank. And I mean, what I feared to happen, happened. I did call you too, and we had
But
to.
she gave it to you blank, that way you would put what you wanted, that would, because that's what you've been wanting to do, to say what you want to order, because you don't want cereals, or I want these, I want green beans, I want peas. That way it was a lot easier, you put what you want, and all she has to do is go back and see if it's there, or submit it to Laredo on a timely manner, as long as it comes back in a timely manner from you. Also, Moneybag, she does sanitation and she does commodities. That's her two jobs, and she's done well. She's done awesome on those two,
It's never been a question to me
On
to like say
duties.
that she hasn't.
but my thing is, if that's what you wanted, we gave you what you wanted, we gave you the order. To me, I think it's a lot easier that way you pick what you want, and then she can send it to Laredo and see more or less, or put the dollar amount. 'Cause more or less, the way I've seen it, when we do the ordering, if Gracie should know this, when she sees it, she's, okay, it's $400, $500, that's what we've been ordering.
And that's what I was trying to figure out, like, how
No,
much money was
Gracie
it?
should know that, she's been here long enough to know what dollar amount we have for her precinct.
And I think we did,
Because
we
we get it.
pulled out months priors, and then that's what we try to do, is we
So
try
I
to
don't-
figure out the amount of.
Because we really don't have a dollar amount, but we more or less know on the people that we have that we order. So, I mean, Maribel's doing an awesome job, and I think it should stay there, but I'm just one vote.
Judge, I'm not piggyback on Commissioner Revolcavas. I never had an issue with Maribel. We always turned out to be good with the order. We never interfered. I have never interfered for her to order something else. I'm happy with the work she's done. My hat's off to her. I don't know who else would be willing to take that task and then feeling the pressure that she's feeling right now. I have no issue with her staying as she is, because my hat's off to you, man. You've done an excellent job. And like you said, this year has been a little different. Now, it's starting to bring issues when there never was.
And if it gets moved to the
And-
judge,
and
there's
if
no
it-
reason to hire any more people, because Maribel's been doing it. Not unless we get the utility department secretary, which is Melissa, to do the ordering and take care. You see, that's the problem. We don't have there's no reason to hire more people.
No, we don't need to hire any more people.
No, we don't.
No,
I feel like we
she
can,
can, she
yeah.
can stay at the position, I mean, I don't.
I'm not saying to hire more people, and this is what I'm saying. My concern is that what I fear happened, and a simple conversation could have solved it all, because at the end of the day, I come up here and I have uncomfortable conversations with anybody, but you didn't try to come to me and have a conversation with me about it, and nor did you try to come to me and have a conversation like, hey, this is what happened, this or this or this, or to even advise me.
But we don't want any more issues to arise out
But
of
you
this.
have to because you are a commissioner.
And that's why I told you, we
Yes,
would
you have
discuss
to.
this in Commissioner's Court. That would be the only best solution to do it. That way we all go with the same mind We understand it the same way, and we all clear it out. That's why I said Commissioners Court.
But see, at the same time, what I feared happened. You not willing to have a conversation with me, out of a personal reason, you're not willing to have a conversation with me, now we're short this month.
No, you're not gonna be short.
The
You're
numbers,
not gonna be
numbers
short.
cover for up to 70 families, which is your average monthly. I order always 90 just to have extra in case an emergency, in case something happens. I've always been asked to make sure we order extra in case something happens.
Okay.
But your numbers do cover your
I
monthly.
think that where it's coming from too is because I have questions and I want to learn, and I'm not gonna let these departments sit that are operating for the county without being able to ask questions. Now, I can adjust myself if you don't appreciate how I'm directing my questions to you, woman on woman, I can adjust myself because we're in a working environment. But you not communicating with me or you not communicating with me on the matter isn't gonna fix anything on this end. Again, I was told that, they said that I harassed you over the phone. I didn't harass you over the phone. I just simply said, hey,
Never said that to anyone. It was just a harsh email that you sent.
Okay, and it was just like this, whatever the case be, but to me, it came back. And that's why I called you, because I was like, wait. If they say that I harassed her, then let's pull the phone records, because that wasn't what I did, and I didn't want for you to think, because at the end of the day, had you called one of my employees and they said that, I would have came directly to you and been like, hey, what's going on, this and this and this.
If you already knew when you called me, you should have said Commissioner.
And I asked you, and
All you told me was,
do you want to have the
yes,
conversation?
that's all you
Commissioner's
said,
Court,
and I
or-
said, we'll take care of it in Commissioner's
Okay, and
Court.
that's what I'm saying,
But
but at
if
the end of the
you knew
day,
that they had told you, or
yeah.
they had.
I was reported to me that
Okay.
you went into the judge's office
Do y'all feel-
saying that I was harassing.
We're gonna,
We never thank you.
what is your motion is? We're
They
gonna-
said that I couldn't do my motion, I mean,
I have a question real quick. I mean, it's kind of weird, because can't we try this again?
I know, but the
We
whole
just
point
ask
of,
people to do something
mhm.
to make things better, but yet the same
Thank
group
you.
that just asked it,
thank you.
it doesn't seem like, we're missing something here.
And all I,
So, all it is today is to clarify, let's just not go off topic, to clarify what Maribel's roles and responsibilities are. Commissioner Talamantes has asked for it to be moved to the judge's office. Is there a motion on that or not? And then we'll go forward to the next step. The next step, as I mentioned to Commissioner Talamantes when she first asked about clarifying, the way that I understood it to be clarified was that Maribel was gonna give her the list and she was gonna order from that list. I'm assuming that based on what Commissioner Talamantes is asking is that she's requesting more information from Maribel, like budgets and all this other stuff. Or is
no, that was only because, and I wish we could pull up the video right now so we can go through the video, when we talked about it, and I clearly do remember saying that we said, we'll follow the process that we had originally followed, and, hey, it worked for you, it worked for me, let's just do it like that. And so, this is the first time that you presented to me like this. That's where I had the issues, because in the court, when we left, we're like, we'll just follow the same process that we did this past ordering form. I didn't receive it like that this past ordering form. But again, it would have been something so simple, just.
The last month, that month that you did the changes, it wasn't an order
I know that
that
you
we're going.
said-
It was, I had just shared with you and all the commissioners what everyone was gonna pick up, because I had already submitted the orders. I had already sent out the pickup dates and everything to Laredo. So I was just sharing with your staff, with Commissioner Valerie's staff and Mr. Carmona's staff, this is the ordering for this month, this is the day you'll pick up. And that was it. There was no process there or anything. That's whenever you guys replied about, hey, can we change it? And that's when I was like, let me find out, because the orders had already been submitted. It took a day or so before Laredo got back with me. They said it hadn't been pushed out to the warehouse, so we all were so good. But it wasn't a process. It was just like, it just happened that you wanted to change them then. I wasn't aware if you were allowed to change orders yet, but we still allowed you to go ahead. We allowed you to submit your changes at that time, because they just got approved in December for you to allow you or commissioners to do ordering of changes and stuff.
And like I'm saying, it would have been something, just a clear conversation. If you didn't understand what I meant, you could have just called my office and said, do you want me to do it like this, or do you want me to do it like this? Because at the end of the day, your department is here to assist me in my area, not the other way around. So you could have called me, you could have said, do you want it like this, or do you want it like this, and you didn't.
And same way, Miss Gracie, this is me with the commodity, so she could have reached out to me and said, hey, this is the way Ms. Montes wants you to do it.
So then would you prefer, so is what I'm getting at, is you prefer Ms. Gracie to communicate with you?
It doesn't matter, but I mean, same way that you're saying I could have reached out to you.
Because
same
I'm
way
a
Ms.
commissioner
Gracie.
and you're an employee, that's fine.
Gracie's under me with the CEs,
I know, but still,
but she
it
could
was my
have reached out to
concern.
me.
I know, but it was my point, and that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I'm trying trying. I really, really am trying to make it work for everybody. You presented it to me with it you had never presented to me before, and Gracie didn't know what
Well,
to do.
I presented it to Gracie because she is the CE, so it was for her to forward it to you and then
she
go
came and asked
together.
me, she's like, I don't know what you want me to do. And that's when we worked on it together and we tried to figure it out. But I also did call you. As soon as you presented it to me, you were the first call that I had. Hey,
And I did tell you,
yeah.
I don't want you to enter no numbers, all I need you to select the items you want to produce, send it back to me, and I will enter the rest.
And then that's why I
You
said,
guys decided to enter numbers and do everything else, and that's how I sent it to Laredo. It did cover, we did go over the numbers, it does cover your average monthly pickups for big wells. But I always try to tend to order more. So you ordered 7, I always order about 9 or so cases. You are only short 2 cases, but it does cover your full amount of people that that pick up on a monthly basis.
So essentially, we're just here to clarify what is it that
Nobody's
you
short.
need,
It
and
covers her
what are
amount.
we doing, because
She said that she usually orders 90 in this season because I input the numbers, I got 70 this time, so it's short, but she says it's still
It
gonna cover,
covers the
that
monthly,
we're just not gonna have over.
50
Um,
monthly families.
I understand, but what I'm trying to say is Maribel gonna continue to do it just the way that she's always doing it, or are you still gonna ask for the input? Or what is it that we are gonna be deciding today, because we've, getting off tangent in terms of, time obviously, but what are we doing?
All I want is to be able to make changes, not on quantity, not on anything else, but let's just say we got green beans last month, can I have corn this month? So being able to create the form where all the numbers and everything are there, so that way I'm not going over budget or selecting anything over, and then just make keynote changes. I understand that she's gonna have to fill it in, and then go back and then white it out before it gets submitted, and be like, okay, she doesn't want corn this month, she wants green beans this month, but that's what
Is there any way that Gracie could, because at the end of the day, Maribel is technically Gracie's boss.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, not no more,
why?
because Gracie is my new secretary.
So,
Or she's actually all her secretaries now.
so who's gonna be in charge or assisting her for the commodities?
We got somebody that we have in mind, but we are gonna wait to see how this all kind of planned out, because if it went under the judge, then I thought that was the fairness of it all, is to just take it and put it under the judge, so that way the commissioners wouldn't be fighting, and then we would go from there, and then we would take your input on there, and how did you want to proceed with that?
What do you mean commissioners fighting? Because I'm not fighting.
And I was unaware that Gracie was no longer a CE for commodities either.
You didn't.
And I didn't know that she was no longer helping with the commodities.
Okay, it just happened this week. Again, it was in Commissioner's Court, so we just informed. Obviously, she's still gonna help you. I'm not gonna pull all the resources from you and say, hey, do it by yourself. If Gracie still has to get up and come and help you in Cruz, and I did tell you that, like, Gracie can come and help you. I'm not gonna say she can't help you, but.
No, but for big wells, we're talking about big wells. So will she be the one that I'll be contacting for big wells is my question.
We just this week, give me some time. Just this week, I had a change out. Give me some time and we will fix it, being able to communicate, and we will adjust it to see how we're gonna do it. But yes, I moved Gracie up. Gracie is now the secretary for the commissioners. So I know that I have that position to fill, but again, it's just this week. Give me some time and we'll make sure that we get it all settled in. For the meantime, we were not gonna leave your department alone. Whatever you needed from Miss Gracie is there to help you. If she needs to come to Carrizo to be able to assist you over here, I had also informed you that when I saw you the last time, that Gracie would come help you, because I wasn't gonna leave you just by yourself. I was gonna make sure that we still covered you, but if you give me more than a week, I can make sure that we get all that information for you, and then we decide where we're going from there. Poor choice of words, if I said fighting, not being able to communicate might have been a better choice of words. So, not fighting, but not being able to communicate on this subject or on this matter. Because at the end of the day, on my end, I feel like this is just a simple communication issue. Had we just sat down and just had a conversation about it, there wouldn't be you here right now, or there wouldn't be hurt feelings or animosity over the department. But again, I'm woman enough to say, if I wasn't addressing you in a matter that you didn't appreciate, a simple conversation and honesty would have just gone a long way to be like, hey, can you do it like this? I don't really look at titles and positions as much. I try to treat everybody with respect the same way that I try to. I don't remember going into your office, and if you felt that I did, or my tone or my volume wasn't to your liking, or you felt disrespected, you could have very well addressed that to me. Outside of work, I feel like we can get along perfectly fine. There's no animosity there. I'm able to always be around you, so you never gave me any indicator that I wasn't addressing you or speaking to you in a matter that you didn't appreciate. It would have gone a long way had you addressed that with me and told me about it.
So
As far as
to
keep it the way that it is, I mean, to me, I still stand. I feel like if we're not able to communicate with it on it, judge me, no matter how bad things have gotten, I've always been able to go into your office and sit down and have a conversation. And I do feel that you've always been able to contact me and have a conversation, and this is the only communication and conversation that we have. Maybe pulling it and putting it in the judge's hands so that way it's fair for all precincts because you cover all of Dimmit County. So on my ordering process, what I expected was just to be able to change key things to say I want green beans this week, I want corn, but I can't sit there unless you want us to. I can't sit there, I can put the new commodities.
And that's what I need clarified to see, like, you know, what the process is gonna be, like, what the process is going to be. I mean, it was just told that to give her input, I gave her the input from the beginning, there was no specific way. I don't know what else that other information I'm supposed to provide over to Ms. Salamantes. If there's any information, I need to know what information I need to provide over to her so that we can get it done the right way.
So what's your motion, Commissioner Talamantes?
There is no motion because we just clarified it, but my
So the
motion,
clarification is gonna be that you give her the,
not a blank order form.
I select the items I wish to order for Big Boss and then send it to Ms. Gracie or to Ms. Salamantes.
Yeah, because
but
it
it
would
would be, but that's the whole purpose, so if she gives you a blank order form, then you can order whatever you want.
Yes, but I didn't know the quality amount. I wasn't given a budget or anything, because even when I spoke to Mr. Gonzalez about it, he said, well, then just order whatever you want. And I said, but I'm not even given an amount. I'm not even given a certain limit or amount to say, this is what it is. And yes, I could have very well ordered everything that I want, but it was never my intention to say, I want to be by myself and I don't want for her to do it. It was just always my intention to say, hey, can I have green beans instead of corn? Can I have frosted flakes instead of Cocoa Puffs? Can I have this
Well,
instead of
then,
this?
then what you can do is just, she gives you the blank order form, you order whatever it is that you want, you give it back to her, and if, based on her budget, that she knows what the budget is, she'll order that amount, in that amount of whatever it is. If you have $100 for green beans, and you get $100 for green beans.
Yes, my thing is, if she creates one order form, what we discussed here in court is if she creates one, typically she keeps it the same. So by creating one order form, there would have been one provided for me as a template. So even if she doesn't, and she doesn't do it for me, but she provides me a template of where the balances stay in between, then I would be able to successfully not take advantage of being able to order my other stuff, just stay consistent for everybody else, because what's gonna happen if I start to order more and then Action finds out that we're getting way different stuff and it's not, I'm not completely trying to change it where I'm gonna increase your workload or your stress, because then the same thing's gonna happen what's happening now.
So you want her to continue doing the order, you just wanna see what she's ordering? Is that what it is?
I want to be able to just change a few things, not quantity or anything. I don't want to order more than what Ashton is getting. I want to try to keep it as consistent as possible. But if we got in green beans for 4 months, can I have corn this month? Those are just little key changes that I'm asking for, and I don't really feel like I'm asking for much.
Because I think she changes it on a monthly basis depending on what is available.
Yes.
Because 1 month we get corn, the next month we
We
get
gotta
green
have
beans.
corn in about
She
4 months,
changes
and then green
what it
beans
is,
is
it's
there.
everything.
Like I'm telling you, this is something that's coming up from the people that I'm getting the same thing over and over and over again. But whenever I have a direct input, now I can be able to speak to them and tell them, hey, but we did change it to this, and we changed
But
it to that.
once you see they're ordering the list, you're gonna see that it's the same.
I know, and
over
that's what I've explained to a lot of people. That's literally what I've explained to a lot of people, is like, we
But
don't
that
get.
will also go hand in hand, Commissioner Talamantes, with you, if you're saying that your constituents are, you know, having concerns or whatever, you order it, and then you let them know, this is what I ordered for you guys, and regardless of whether it's different than Asherton or Carrizo, you're looking out for your constituents, and that's what you order for them. And if this is what you want, she gives you the blank order, you give it back to her, and she'll order within the parameters of that budget. Or in the alternative, if whoever your new CE is gonna be, you know, she can tell her, you know, we don't want green beans this month, give us corn or whatever. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, whatever y'all wanna do, I'll stand by it, but.
It sounds like it's not even that difficult.
No, it's really not. Like, I don't understand how we're this far deep into it.
I mean, I don't want to part of it, but it sounds like it's not that difficult.
And that's okay. And I told you the last time, Commissioner, if me and you work together, we could really grow this department. I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to set aside differences.
She gave
And-
you the blank form the way you wanted it,
But what I feared happened, and I still called and still trying to finish the game.
You're still gonna you're not gonna be shorthanded.
Because she didn't tell me.
But you're not gonna be shorthanded, just as long as you're not shorthanded, that was fine.
Okay.
That was a hiccup, we passed by it, now ready, now we're moving forward. Now, you do the I'm not telling you how to do your order, but if you wanna do the order the way it was done this month, or if you want her to continue doing the ordering and then you do the changes, we need to know, she needs to know now, what is it that you want? Do you want it the
I've
way?
said it 10 times already how I want it.
So you wanna continue the way?
I want
it's
for her,
been
I
done?
want for her, either provide me a template to stay within the guidelines, or do the order form and allow me to make changes, that's what I want.
So I will continue making the orders, selecting the items for Big Willis, and then forwarding it to you guys.
And allowing me to make key changes if I wish to, if I catch it in time. I understand that if I don't get to my email in time, and it's already passed and it's already been submitted, give me enough time, give me at least a day or two, but if it's already submitted and it's not eligible to do that, then I understand that as well. But that's what I want.
That's right.
So she'll continue doing the ordering.
And allow me to make key changes as
In a
needed.
timely manner
Yes,
before it
yes,
gets
ma'am.
sent out to
Yes,
the radar,
ma'am.
because if not, it's gonna fall.
Yes,
back on.
as long as she doesn't do it the same day, and she doesn't submit it the same day, at least give me a day or two, I understand that.
But remember, Laredo sends it sometime the week of, and you don't see your email till
And
the
I-
following day.
And I understand that, I do try to check my email daily, but again, I'm woman enough to take accountability for my own actions, and know that if I missed it, I missed it. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna call her or harass her or anything for that matter, or even leave it to an opportunity to say that that's happening.
So we'll continue doing the orders, Maribel.
Thank you.
So
You're
no.
doing the orders.
No action.
No action.
Thank you.
Would you like to be the judge? You would like to be the judge?
You don't want me to do
3.25, discussion and appropriate action to inform the Commissioners Court of availability of audio call records in our phone network system. Also to further discussion and consider the removal of the recordings and access retention, and to create a county policy regarding retention of phone records.
This is executive session.
It's under executive session
Yes, executive session.
regarding, no, I know, but is it regarding under personnel, or what is it under? Just because in order for us to abide by the census open.
IT. IT.
The time is 12:39.
Executive session, Ms. McDaniel, the time is 4:51.
On item 3.25. Do I have a motion?
motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda to authorize the removal of recordings with the stipulation that Sheriff Department and law enforcement DPS continue. And I have a second by Commissioner Talamantes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.26, discussion and appropriate action, report from the municipal landfill for months of December 2025. I think it should say county landfill, but they put municipal. It should say county.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase license plate readers under the OLS grant 4375904.
Are we allowed to purchase even though we're in hold?
We can, she can do the PO, Commissioner, but we can't process it until it's been, the letter has been submitted. So in order for us to, for the sheriff to get those license plate readers, from what Mr. Carmona told me, they've been waiting.
Yes,
for
that's
the-
correct.
For us to approve it, because the price keeps going up. Yes.
Yes,
it's fine.
we purchased them before.
And this was Deputy Carmona, not me.
Deputy, that's
Yes,
correct.
deputy, Deputy Carmona, Corporal Carmona.
It's also like on this one, it's on hold. I do have a transport van that was approved to change, but I'm not getting anything until we
Get the letter.
get the letter before anything.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have a motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.2, discussion and appropriate action, approval to purchase inmate tracking software from Ryan Technology Services LLC using the commissary profit account.
Judge, on this one, we recently had a inspection at the jail. Had two findings that we didn't pass. One of them, for the report, it was we had an inmate, a female inmate that's been a holding cell for more than 8 days. That's because we had no room anywhere else to put her. They did speak with her. She was, she was given the opportunity to take showers, everything up there, so it's still a finding on it. Another one is, he brought up the same issue just with when you're writing down the logs. We're doing the paper form. This one, when we do it, he found, if you're in one place, say you put 12:30, and then you walk to another cell area, it's put in 12:30, usually the time changes, but under their recommendations, they're recommending we go electronically on it. And I did ask him on the profit account for the commissary, he said we could use it for the inmates, and there is money in there to cover the cost of it.
So this system is for you to do it digitally, inserting the timestamps and all that instead of doing it paperwork.
That is correct, and if we have somebody in the restraint chair, that requires every 15 minutes. If they don't go in, we get notified, the jail admin gets notified, or the jail sergeants get notified. We can call why they're not doing any checks. We make contact with an inmate, say they're going to the ER, you scan the cell, you put the inmate's information, they're going to either the ER or they got checked by the doctor, it's all documented. So later on, if they come back, and we've had some from a year or two ago, they filed complaints with the jail commission that they weren't given recreation. They were never seen by the doctor. Luckily, we have paper forms, but it'd be better because you just print everything out and it's all documented on there as to, that inmate, the time they were in there, it'll keep up there. As long as we have that, it'll stay documented. We can pull up their files.
And this is what the software is going to cost?
Yeah, the software, computers, set up in the...
Is there a yearly?
Well, it's gonna be yearly. After that, it's right here on the last page, it's 13%, so it'll probably be about 5,000 from the total cost yearly. If we choose to stay with them or go with another company. This one, I'm choosing them, but they're close by, they're Waco. There's another company, Gordon, but they're not in the area.
So it's $39,000 to start off, and then after that, it'll be like $5,100?
Yes, it'll be 13% of that total cost.
Yeah, 5,100.
That's a software licensing.
So it would cost approximately $5,135 a year.
That's correct.
And this is coming out of the commissary fund, correct?
That's correct. I asked the jail commission, they said we could use it for that.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.3, discussion and appropriate action, approval to use Femco Electric LLC for electrical work in the dispatch office.
Different church, we got Femco because he's been working with Lucas. They know what we need to get that storage room that we just created for the 911 software. Not the software, but for the electrical, the radios. They know exactly what we need. That's why I recommend if we can go with Femco to do the work for all the electrical in there, with equipment.
This would be for the dispatch.
That's correct.
Are they by board, Sheriff?
I don't believe they're local. I believe out of Uvalde or Eagle Pass.
And where is the funding for this coming out of, Sheriff?
Believe we still have money in one of these COs?
The seals that's paying for the dispatch.
Do you know
I
which
believe
one?
that's
Do you know
correct.
which one? Mr. Pereira didn't tell me anything of that.
I know there's funding in one of the seals for dispatch, but I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, Mr. Pereira didn't tell me either.
Can we make a motion to
Table.
approve, subject to what seals is coming out?
Yeah, well, we can do that. I have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona to approve, subject to see what seals first, Sheriff, to see
Correct.
if there's enough funding, and if not, we'll advise you.
Thank you.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.4, discussion and appropriate action, approval to use LD Tech LLC for the uplift of the new dispatch.
It'd be the same thing on this, Judge. Lucas, I know they do work for a Middle Rio Grande. They're familiar with the system. We think they'd be moving
This is to, this is to like outfit the office.
outfit the office and do the moving from the closet to the other storage room. But he'll be getting desks that we need for that area.
For the new section?
And the funding on this one, Sheriff?
I believe it would be the same, CO.
No, I'm asking, what line item is this supposed to be approved out of?
I thought Mr. Pereira would have been here.
Motion to approve, subject to seals coming
What
out.
is the total amount on this one, Sheriff? Because there's like 3 different quotes. There's one for it says 8,000, 5,000, 11,100, and 11,770.
I didn't get the total on it. I have them all the breakdowns also, but
37,200 and 15.
I know, Middle Rio Grande said they would cover about 12,000 of the moving part.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions?
No.
Is there a motion?
Motion, subject to what seals coming out.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 4.5, jail status report.
Judge, also on the other one, I didn't give my report for the last meeting. I put it on this one. And the reason.
Racial profiling.
Judge, I don't have the report for the marshals. There was the amount for matching, so I just got fixed. I'll put it on the next commissioner's report. Again, like Sheriff said, that we did not pass the inspection. We had 2 deficiencies. One of them was, of course, the female that we had in holding 48. They did give us a 30-day plan to write a plan for actions to not occur again. I believe Sheriff already spoke to Crystal City.
So what happens, Ms. Montes, if since they found you out like a violation?
They gave us a 30 days to fix it, so we already on it. We have training and everything already, and then we're emailing everything to them.
Like that female, we couldn't move her to another cell and she can shower or whatever, and then another day they should be put in there just as long as they're not more than 48 hours. I did talk to Jose Salinas, he's the only one I have an MOU with, but at the time right now, our capacity with female.
What about LaSalle County?
I don't have an MOU with them, I need to work on an MOU, then whatever
Let's do that.
the charges or something, usually overnight, because somebody won't charge me on it, but it depends if, whatever they're gonna charge us for that.
Okay.
One of the findings they did bring up, that door, it's now in the control though, it's not locking, that's why I did tell them that it was approved, so I'm just waiting for the PO.
In regards to that, Sheriff, I think because it was coming out of capital equipment,
Yes.
it was amount of $152,000. Mr. Pereira did advise me this morning that he only had $150,000 in there, so he was waiting to see where he was gonna try to do a budget adjustment from what he told me this morning.
Can we do that with the cameras? I know you put cameras in there also. But I do need those doors fixed.
Any other questions of the jail and sheriff's report?
So there's $2,000 shy for the door?
I don't know, Mr. Pereira said he was trying to find if there was gonna be
It's
a,
152,000 and there's only 150.
that's the PO that I have, yeah, it says 152,000.
Well, if you need the other two, I'll help out on my deal if it's possible. Unless somebody finds it,
You might wanna talk to Mr. Pereira.
whatever helps the process.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Odena, all in favor?
Aye.
Any other?
You said we have an MOU with
LaSalle.
LaSalle.
5.1 utility report.
Motion taken.
Motion to table by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 6.1, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Treasurer, Mr. Oscar Ortiz, for the month of November and December. Any questions of Mr. Ortiz?
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, sorry.
On the bond series expecting, we still got money in there.
Yes, we have roughly, or not roughly,
$880?
$380.
Plus, what's our investments? It was 15, right?
What was it asking?
You said bond series 2015.
Plus another $84,409.35.
But when we supposed to use those 380 already?
Or what do you mean?
Like, do we have a time to spend it, or
Are
we past the time?
I want to say yes, but I need to confirm with Mr. Pereira.
Mr. Pereira said we were supposed to spend it already, yeah.
Yes. I want to say they have a 10-year, I want to say it's 10 years.
Thank you.
Are there questions of Mr. Ortiz? There are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries, thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
Thank you.
6.2, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Auditor, Mr. Pereira, I'm going to motion to table that item.
Motion.
Second by Commissioner Odena, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 6.3, discussion and appropriate action, change order number 5 to replace the existing dilapidated fence.
Good morning, Judge and Court. My name is Dan Hale with engineering firm Haley Associates. I'll be glad to answer any questions you all may have on change order number 5.
How often does a fence line butt up directly with the road?
If there is an existing fence, it's usually, I'm not an attorney or a judge or court, it's usually the prescription of the right-of-way. In this case, I believe Diamond H, that I've been out there with the survey crew, had in many areas less than 50-foot right-of-way. But typically, most of the time in my experience in working in this field, the fence to fence defines the right-of-way.
And this is the second issue, right, from my understanding. So you had one fence line that was taken down, and then you reconstructed that one, and then this is the second fence.
Yes, it's on the other side of the road from, I believe, from where the other fence was.
So what was the reasoning for taking down the fence lines?
The existing vegetation within the right-of-way at Diamond H had grown substantially into the right-of-way. It was next to impossible to try to clear the vegetation without the old fence going down. We encountered this previously on a project we'd done on the other side of the river, and we had included a fence item to replace the fence as necessary in some areas, and in some areas we just defined the old fence line by using tall T-posts. And a lot of it had to do whether there was a gang fence there, what the condition of the fence was. The area in question, Commissioner, is about 60–70% of this area of Diamond H Ranch Road is located in a flood hazard area. So the goal of the project was to try to elevate the road as much as we could afford to do that. So in areas where we did do that, there was some work on the embankment, both the foreslope and the back slope, that took it to the edge of the road. When the contractor got out and started this process, we got a phone call. We said it's next to impossible to take this old vegetation out and clear, be able to work it right away as we need to install the drainage structures, et cetera. So that's when we contacted the commissioner. But we've had this happen. I looked up some previous projects that we had, just a few last week. There was one in 2016 on Faith Ranch Road where the commissioner then, you weren't commissioner, but I believe Commissioner Mike was there, wanted to take a turn radius and make it a little bit longer. So he negotiated with the adjacent property owner to remove the old fence and replace it and set it aside. And then we concreted those intersections. Because as the commissioner mentioned earlier, a lot of the roads, unfortunately, it's hard to enforce speed limits on some roads, which plays a part in the design of the road, both vertically and horizontally. And then we had another one on Zambrano Road, and I think Commissioner Alonso, you and I have talked about that one. We had a drainage structure that traversed Zambrano Road. It was causing the road to wash out whenever it rained quite a bit. So to mitigate that, we had to get permission from the adjacent property owners to remove the old fence and to do some work on their property so we could drain the water through it. And I believe the Faith Ranch Road that we worked on in 2015, 2016 was part of the original TechStock grant that we got through the CTRZ funding.
How much did we pay for the first fence line, the first change order?
Change order number 1. Let me look, Commissioner. Actually, I was thinking of this change order 4 because we had some time changes. I think it's about 35,000.
35,000?
Yes, I think it's about 7,000 linear feet of fence.
And that's the fence that's currently up right now?
There is a fence that is up on one side that serves the Briscoe Ranch.
And that one's where we paid 35,000?
Yes, I believe that one was, can't read the handwriting very well, but it was about a little over 6,000 feet, give or take, and it was about $5.58 per foot.
And that project is complete?
That section was previously approved by court,
And
that section is done. The project is practically done. I'm going to go make a substantial completion walkthrough after this meeting. And this was the final thing that the contractor talked to us about, which was this other side of the roadway.
Can you, real quick before I'm not going to say that it wasn't needed. And I do have a question about that. But my main concern was, and I told you too, I understand you took down one fence line and, you know, it was the property owners, it wasn't ours. I understand that being an honest mistake and you having to replace that fence line. And it went through Commissioner's Court the first time. But then the second time, there wouldn't have been any room to let us know, like, hey, I accidentally took down these fence lines for whatever reason without asking the homeowner or the ranch. Because what I was told as far as what they do with these ranches, because I understand what you're talking about, because I had the same issue. Whenever I asked about taking down the first fence line, I was told and advised not to because for one, it is still the rancher's property. What they do is they put these fence lines there to be able to grow vegetation to keep poachers out from shooting directly into their ranch. And so they go ahead and they do that. How did removing the fence line improve the drainage? Explain to me the drainage.
Right, on all the roads that we work on, we try to look at drainage as one of the most important items. Again, as we mentioned earlier, this road is in an area where it's subject to a lot of inundation by flood events. So from that perspective, we'll look at the low points along the road and the existing culverts, and we'll look at the aspect of, can we improve the culverts? What kind of culvert can we put in that'd be easier for the county crews to operate and maintain? What is our width of culvert that we can safely install? The county back in 2012, and may I approach the bench, Judge? Yeah. Approved, as part of the program requirements to participate in the TxDOT program, the county was required to develop some minimal standards for their roads. And I'll get a copy of this. This was in 2012, and I have a copy for each one of y'all. Now, having said that, when we got the grants from TxDOT, one of the things they do look at is right-of-way acquisition, easement acquisition, drainage easements. That is allowable under their program. Utility relocation is actually allowable under their program. And oftentimes in TxDOT projects, because they're TxDOT, okay, if they need more right-of-way, they'll go out and negotiate right-of-way. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna use the ladies from.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So TxDOT will, if they haven't identified that right-of-way edges, treatment need to be done, they'll usually do it under a program that's, I think I've got the terminology here. Yeah, they call it cost to cure, is what they call it. So if they get in a situation where they can't profile the road because of the vegetation that's extending out from the fence line is so dilapidated that it's built in. And I agree with you, Commissioner, because that's some of the things that ranch owners have talked to other commissioners that we've worked on projects, and then they conveyed that information to me, which was, we can't do anything in the right of way and get our bar ditches, which is fundamental to keeping the roads as in good shape as possible, which is trying to get that drainage away from the road and out into another
So
area.
then basically, and then sensing, I'm trying to understand, whenever you're improving the drainage issue, are you sloping it out to run away from the road? Or are you creating a path or a tunnel to be able to allow the water to run directly straight through? I'm just trying to understand, not a legal term, but I guess in dirt term, what is it that you do to be able to provide the drainage?
Right, well fundamentally we'll look at the contours for the area. And most of the contours available are here through USGS maps that are only 10 foot. So once we get the field survey done, we'll kind of know a little bit better locally how the drainage moves. And the aspect here on Diamond H is that the drainage basically moves how the river moves in that area. It all goes, most of the terrain in Texas is southeasterly flow towards the coast. But in this case, the dilemma is, and it's not just limited to this road. We had it in Faith Ranch, we had it in Hendrickson, on a lot of the projects on a smaller scale basis, like it's in Brano, where if we have drainage that's crossing the road, we try to not only determine if the culvert is necessary, the improvements to get it into and out of the culvert, but also downstream what we can do in terms of improving that. I remember when Commissioner Rodriguez was here, we did the project on Faith, and I think that was a $7 or $8 million project with most of the money coming from TxDOT. I would talk to him all the time about talking to the ranch owners and the
And we didn't do this time, we didn't talk to the ranch owners?
We did. The commissioner met with Mr. Briscoe after the fact.
After we removed it, so we forgot just one step process.
Precisely. And I would say this, I would say when we adopted these standards in 2012, one of the discussions we had is right-of-way and easement acquisition. And a lot of the counties that I have worked with in the past that are smaller in terms of population will say, we know the folks, case-by-case basis.
I apologize to interject. What was the question? Did we talk to the landowner?
Yes, he said that after the fact is when we, that they spoke to the Briscoe. And the Littles as well, was it after the fact that
Yes, yes, because a lot of what we needed to determine initially was, could that existing fence be salvaged? And unfortunately, it could not.
Mr. Hell, why was the conversation with the Briscoes done after the fact, not before? Did I miss that part? I'm sorry, I walked in, I was just curious, was there a reason why we didn't ask them for
No, I
permission
don't
before?
know, Judge, but I do know
Who's in
that
charge of asking the property owner for permission to?
usually we interview the county members, either the court, or we'll interview the employees or the superintendents, anybody, because most of the time, everybody knows them. Sometimes I'll call Commissioner Urenda because he knows a lot
Of that
branches.
precinct?
I try to connect with anybody on court that may know the person, because sometimes, having worked here for a little while, sometimes you'll find out that maybe you have a relationship with them, but it's not in your precinct. And because of this reason, we did business together, we went hunting together, we go to church together, whatever the situation is. So we just try to find avenues that are available to make connections, to make sure that we, reach out and try to work with the property owners.
What was the time lapse between the first fence line being taken down and the second?
I don't know, but it's probably just 2 or 3 weeks. It probably wasn't much, because as they were clearing the right of way, that's one of the initial things you have to do to prep the road. Because as I mentioned earlier, what we're trying to do in certain locations here is raise the road by as much as 2 feet. The road historically has, and you know this as well as anybody probably, it becomes impassable after a significant rain event. And unfortunately, the material, that road is kind of local material. It's very soft clay, fine material. So it almost gets like moldy clay when it gets wet. And so I know the commissioners, both on your side, Commissioner, and your side, we're both trying to actively do some things in that area. My first introduction to the county, when I first started working here, it was not on a road, it was on something completely different. I talked to one of the commissioners and they said, oh, when you come into town, take Diamond H Ranch Road. And I think they did it on purpose, because I took it, and that 7, 8, 9, 10 mile journey took me probably 45 minutes. And I was bombarded by 18 wheelers. I think it was $80 to $100 a barrel. And when I ended up at the other end around Catarina, when I finally got a chance to talk to the commissioner, I said, now I know why you asked me to take that road and to visualize it. So I would say that some of the 3 major roads that we've had that probably fit in that category would be Faith Ranch, Hendrickson, and Diamond H. And the county's tried to touch on all 3 of those roads in some form or fashion.
So typically before with other commissioners, was it you that would contact the landlord, or would it be the commissioner?
I usually relied upon the county, be it the commissioner or the staff, or if I knew somebody, like in utilities, or rights of way, if y'all were issuing permits for driveways or anything like that. And that's kind of how I would suggest that we do this here, because the more formal process, like I'm from Williamson County, right, and we're 500, 600,000 people now. About 30 to 40 cents on the dollar of all their bonded roadway projects are attributable to right-of-way and easement acquisition, utility relocation, taking up old fences, re-putting new fences in. If you consider that the fence is an appendage, more or less, that defines the right-of-way, as well as the driveway culvert and the culvert itself, most of the time the county will require, let's say I go get a new driveway on a county road, you will be required to get a permit, but you'll be required to pay for that, to install that. So the introduction or the integration of the county right-of-way with the property owner is pretty critical in terms of that, because most of our projects on roads, we improve the driveways, and oftentimes that means having to replace the culvert, right, and put some safety end treatments on it, some angle with some concrete to keep it from being crushed. So if there's a mailbox, I've got a project I just finished, it's about a $3.5 million project for a little city. And most of the time in right-of-way mitigation, we're dealing with moving paper mailboxes to the site, new driveways, new culverts. We probably spent 1/3 of the money doing that kind of stuff. So utility relocation, right-of-way acquisition, easement acquisition, it's something that the court should develop over time policy on, so you can have more uniform right-of-ways. A road like Diamond H, with the amount of floodplain it has, you would prefer to have a wider right-of-way, but it would cost you a lot of money to be able to get that right-of-way. And we knew early on, just from me dealing with the previous commissioners and some of the commissioners sitting here, that was a very difficult thing to do with these property owners, to try to acquire easement or right of way. But they would temporarily allow you to go on and say to blade a ditch so you could get it to drain. So if we get those opportunities, I would say take full advantage of them and try to work with your county attorney and make sure everything's okay. But most of the attorneys I've talked to over time have indicated to me that as long as it's not a long-term process, if you want to go blade, you can get permission through court to go do a little work. We had an instance, we were working with Bastrop County for about 20 years as their county engineer, where during a flood event of the Colorado River, a subdivision, that was a private subdivision, had its road cut off. And the county had called me, this was 15, 20 years ago, and they said, can we go out there and fix that road? And I said, well, can they get an emergency vehicle back there? Can you even get an ambulance? What can you get back there? And they said, nothing. I said, well, go to your attorney, get, one-shot permission to go out there and take care of that problem, because you've got 20 families out there that have no way to get back into town, more or less, unless they have a four-wheeler and they can get across that way. So,
Judge, can we motion for a quick recess, because I do have visual of the fence line that I would like to show, so that way we can look exactly what we're talking about, because I did try to ask some of the questions, but I think maybe having some visual will help me understand a little bit better, so that we can look at it. So I can get IT right now and put the video on the screen so we can all see it. And maybe having him here will give it a better experience.
You can go connect it.
Okay.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Calling the meeting back.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You're gonna stand right there?
Yeah, I'll just okay, and then I'll turn it back around.
Ms. McDaniel, the time is 1:40 and we are back on the record. Commissioner Talamantes had a video to play to the court.
Okay, so you can see right here, and that's why I was asking, was the fence line completed? Because it doesn't look like it's completed all the way. But you said that you haven't gone out there to inspect it yourself. So this fence line costed us $35,000. And that's why I was asking about the drainage issue, because you can clearly see it's still sloped down. So that's why I was asking, are you gonna create in between the road and the thing, are you gonna create maybe a path to be able to go for the water to go down? Because the land is still up here and the road is still down here. And I was just simply trying to understand.
sure. Commissioner, I'll go out there today and take a look at that area. We have cross-sections and profiles on the drawings, and the contractor just recently submitted their as-built topo survey, so we're evaluating that right now. The intent would be where we can is to blade a little bit of a ditch line, as you can see right there.
Yes, that's what I was asking, because also too, the other question that I had is it butts up pretty close to the road.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that you said emergency vehicle, but if you continue to look to, because I did drive the roads this past time, and I do share a road with this area.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever I was looking as well to see, you can kind of see that the fence line was taken down a little bit further out, but again, you can see that the ranch is up here, and I have the same issue.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a lot of roads that are doing the same thing.
Yes.
But it's still coming down, so I was trying to understand how taking that part the fence line that is still another 10 feet back is gonna improve the drainage issues right there, and then does that pose a concern? Because what if there is an emergency down there and that road gets blocked, then how is an emergency vehicle supposed to get in there and get out of there? Because initially I was one that had approved it because I thought that they were Dimmit County fence lines, but then whenever they came back and they said that they weren't Dimmit County's fence line, it struck a concern to me because, and you can see right here, this is where the drainage issue would be solved. So right here, you can kind of see a little bit that the road does slope back down, and that's where it could, but on the other area, it doesn't seem to be that. And that's what I was a little bit confused from, because I know that when we spoke to Commissioner Odena the last time about it, she said, again, there was draining issues as well. So you see the road is really narrow. My truck is just one truck, and if you're planning to put the fence line as well right next to the road, and that's why I said, how often do we put fence lines right next to the road? Because again, if there's an emergency that happens down there, and it does kind of seem like if there's an accident, it would be obstructing the road, and it would put the county liable because the county put that fence line up. I'm simply trying to understand, and if you go out there, I will go out there with you as well, because like I'm telling you, I have similar conditions on a lot of the roads like that. I did ask first, I was told by all the people, don't touch my fence line, that's still my property. And they told me why it is that they keep the fence line like that. But again, you can see the second fence in the back, and there is 2 fence lines, I will say that. I probably would have been mistaken as well. But 35,000, and it's not complete all the way.
That's my concern. Mr. L, my concern, obviously, as the chief budgeting officer of the county, I also voted for this change order on the premise that it was a county fence. I wasn't aware that it was not a county fence too. And to me, I feel like that fence could have been built by my 9-year-old for $35,000. What is the picture that Commissioner Talamantes just showed of the...
Yeah, remember we're at 55 because we're doing 20 for one side and 35 for the other.
Well, we haven't approved the other one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, we had a, pardon me for interrupting, Judge, but I believe that change order, number 1, I'll go out there and take a look at the fence. I just need to evaluate it. It didn't include the multi-wire
Does
fence.
anybody want to see it again, or are we good to disconnect?
I think we've seen enough. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to see a repeat or...
We can,
It's supposed to be a price run,
I need to go back and look at the change order and see whether we've had 3 or 5
I just look at that right
So-
there.
So here's my concern at this point, Dan.
you can see some of the
You
posts
know,
that were down. They're not all the way up.
Did you take this, Commissioner?
I do my roads every 3 months. And so this one was just last week. You see that one that was down. This one was not last week, I'm sorry, the week before that, at the end of the week. I believe I was out there on Friday.
I'll check. The contractor is Vega Paving. I've known Benito Garcia of Vega Paving. They're out of Eagle Pass for 20 plus
So you can see too,
years.
like the condition, and the fence line looks like it was back there. I don't think that it was
The
right
concern you
there.
had was
About,
Yeah,
Is those are bare spots?
Sir?
That limestone, they lost the rock on it?
It looks like surface course.
Right. So, you see how there's rock on the, anyway.
Yeah, we haven't
Here-
performed a punch list
Here's my
walkthrough
concern, Dan,
Yes, sir.
and speaking and listening to the concerns of the commissioner about the fence being so close, I don't think there's really much we can do about it because of the existing fence was there. Obviously, that's the property line.
Is that where the existing fence was?
No, it was not. If you go out there, the existing fence was still another, like, correct me because I could be wrong, but if this is the fence right here, the existing fence line is probably up to that board. And you can
Like
see
5
where the
feet.
existing fence was taken out, where it's removed. And some of the, I could see it when I was out there. And that was my other concern, and like, why did we put it so close to the road?
Yeah,
I'll talk to the
usually-
contractor about that.
Yeah, because we just lost right away, if that's the fact.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to go out there
See,
and
you
take
can
a
kind
look.
of see right there in the back a little bit, the fence line, so it's still further back. You see the fence line over here on this side, how it's in those crevices,
Mhm.
where it's cutting through? But if we
So-
put the fence right on it, well then we're gonna be like right on it. And see, I can see over here where the drainage issues was protected to be able to classify it, but you see where that rut is, that's where that fence line was at, in the back. You can kind of see where that little row is.
Who approves of, I know aside from obviously the commissioners court approving the change order and I signed it, but who approves for the completion of the fence like that? Mr. Hill?
I'll go take a look at it.
Cause we're
Yeah.
right.
And I'll make a recommendation. Ultimately, it'll be the court, but it'll be my recommendation.
Dan,
Yes.
so there's 2 questions that I have. One was, removing or replacing the fence in any shape or form part of the existing contract.
No, it was a change order.
I understand the trigger, but there's different reasons for change order.
There-
Change order maybe because now there's more than the existing line item. You may have had 2,000 feet, maybe now this is 5,000 feet. There's different
Yeah,
reasons.
but this changing
But,
order says
okay,
it was to
so-
replace the existing fence.
So it wasn't part of the contract at all? It wasn't part of the original contract?
The original intent, and this was set up the way we did the other side of Diamond H Ranch Road,
Mhm.
was to recognize that that old fence was probably gonna have to be removed because of vegetation. And so we include an item in there to just put tall T-posts in to identify where the old fence was. Because when Commissioner Juan was here, he had talked to some of the owners, and we did replace some fence there. I think we replaced at least 1,000 linear feet that we had to replace. And I can't remember, it said it was a wood type fence. I don't know if it was cedar posts or what.
Okay, so here's my second question. Was the landowner, did the landowner, either or of the landowners agree to the removal and even replacing their fence at any given point? Did they agree to that?
I do not know.
No, because they didn't touch it beforehand.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking.
Yeah,
When
they
we did
reduced it.
Castle Road, Dan, we had similar situation where we wanted to remove the fence, and it was Mr. Wilson's property. And I went to the county attorney to ask him, how do I go about this? He said, you need to go to the landowner, get his consent, and he needs to sign a release form saying that he's allowing us to do so. If you don't have that, I requested it, he said, I'll let you do it, but I am not signing anything.
Sure.
So we didn't, you remember, we didn't touch the fence.
Yeah.
We went to concrete all the way to the fence line, to the first fence, because it's this very similar situation. There's two fence lines. There's a 5-strand old fence, and then there's a game-proof fence.
Right.
He did not, after we asked him what we needed to do was get a signed form from him, he said, no, you know what, just leave everything alone. So we left it alone and went on with our project. That's why this is in question now, because I believe there is a protocol we're supposed to be following, and one of the most important things is getting consent from the landowner, where we have a release form to do us of any liability. Which at this point, we're not replacing the fence because it's part of the job, we're replacing the fence because
He took down the other.
we're
Compensating the owner
Compensating
for damages. That's what it sounds
Right,
like.
in this case, just like it was in the previous nomination, if we decide on a more formalized policy, I think that would be tremendous, and I'll be more than happy to give you some suggestions on how to do that.
Well, I understand that part, but obviously there was oversight here because we didn't have, because from my distinct understanding from what you said, the landowner's upset, right?
Well, this is how it all came about. The gentleman that built that fence for you,
Yes,
or for Vega, actually.
yes, Vega Payment.
Okay. I didn't know anything about it. He came asking me questions. I said, that's not my precinct. You need to reach out. And I gave him Commissioner Rubalcaba's phone number. And he's the one that, in that conversation, he said, in a different way, because he speaks in a very different way, but he said that the owner was very upset because, not so much because of the fence, he did not want to remove the vegetation because that was his buffer zone from keeping vultures from shooting into his property.
Sure. I think and we've had this discussion over the last 10, 15 years with various commissioners on the court. It would be a good idea to figure out how to manage this issue. Temporary construction easement is what we're accustomed to on bigger projects like your clients, whatnot. But you also have to have the ability to administer that and follow through in terms of the process. But I'll be more than happy to give you some guidelines on how to do that.
I would appreciate that.
Yes.
And I think
in
the
past,
additional
what we've done,
concern-
commissioners, we try to get each commissioner or the people that work for them to go talk to the landowners, many of whom I might have met. I'll tell you, if Mr. Briscoe was in this office right now, I couldn't recognize him. I tried to reach him one time about this project to let him know what was going on, and he didn't call me back, and that's when he got a hold of Commissioner Ruben, called me, y'all had lunch together. So a lot of times the landowners, I'm just a consultant, so.
And I was saying, because I was gonna understand that, and I was gonna ask you, is it typically your responsibility to go contact the landowners, or like, does the commissioner head up the project to make sure that everything is followed to the guideline? Because the concerns that I had was the drainage issue. I thought it was a Dimmit County fence, and then also too, the fence line wasn't placed where the fence was originally. It still moved out some, and you can clearly see that. And then lastly too, I find it a little bit disheartening that we're walking around with somebody that got a 35,000 fence line approved, but we can't give things to residents to benefit their houses and their homes, and it just didn't sit well with me. But again, I'm grateful that you
Sure.
came
Yes,
down,
ma'am.
because I had so many questions to be able to protect myself in the near future,
Right.
because I do have a lot of roads that look very, very similar to this, and any guidance that you can provide me to make sure that we're operating, within the law and correctly, because I need to know, like, is it gonna be my job and my responsibility? I would think that it would be my job and my responsibility as a commissioner to make sure that I make contact with any landowners. I wouldn't think that that would fall on your plate to make sure that we're clear of the guidelines of the property lines, and make sure that we could remove the fence, because I mean, we're serving them as our constituent. It doesn't go the other way around. So I think my last question, I know that you said, well, I'll meet you out there as well, so that way we can discuss it and look at it. But typically, is it your responsibility to contact the landowners and get that approval in that form signature, or is it the commissioners?
It usually comes from the client, the county, and whoever you appoint is
So
up
it's
to
the
you.
commissioner, and
Yeah.
that's, I'm part of the project.
Most of the time here, everybody in the past, I'm not gonna say everybody, that's an inclusive word for everybody. But most of the commissioners I've worked with know the landowners and know the superintendents. There might be occasions where they don't. And if they don't, I might reach out to the adjacent commissioner, like I think I talked to Juan about this before you came on board. And I asked him, do you know these folks? Did you go reach out to them? So you know a lot of the folks in the area too. So I use you as a source, and Alonzo as well. But
So in this case, you didn't know that it was,
So no, that's where I'm gonna say, I didn't know. Because we've done the roads and it's always been the ones in charge of the engineering and all that. And I do apologize for that, I didn't know. Not I would have done it myself.
my main concern aside, albeit the concerns the Commissioner Talamantes has or whatnot, my concern again being the chief budgeting officer is that we approved to pay $35,000 to a contractor to build that. And you and I both know on a professional level, that's not worthy of $35,000, one. And two, my concern is that when we have any projects done, Mr. Pereira is always on our tail about we need to send pictures to his office, and we need to show him a completion checklist and a double checklist and a triple checklist and pictures, and in order for him to pay off the account or whoever it is. And I just don't know if something like that is even acceptable for us to release. I mean, obviously, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Pereira unfortunately is not here, but if the $35,000 was already paid for, because I'll be quite frank with you, like I said, I think my 9-year-old could have built that fence.
I'll go out there and take a look at it, Judge. When the contractor, when we realized that the vegetation was taking the old fence down, we started a discussion about not just putting the tall T-posts in to identify where the old right-of-way or restricted use right-of-way was. We started talking about fence construction, and the contractor's original price to me was pretty high. It was $10 to $12 a foot. And I asked him what all went into that number. And then I said, well, it's obvious to me, and I've known Benito, like I said, 25 plus years, that you guys aren't in the fence building business. And we try to make some phone calls. So I contacted a couple of contractors I know in the Pass area. Louis Stock was one of them. I've known the Stock family for almost 35 years. And he said, oh yeah, I know the fence builder. He builds the fences for the Briscoe Ranch, a lot of ranches around here.
Because I do have some fence lines that I built through my department, through my crew.
Right.
And they look better.
Well,
and I have pictures of, and honestly too, this is not a personal attack on you or anything like that, but if y'all guys have been doing this for so long, and you just classify that there's been a lot of the roads that this situation has come, and this is what I'm saying, sometimes healthy conversations to be able to protect us in the long run are worthy to be had, because at the end of the day, I mean, you look at that fence line too, and I don't know if you've gone out there, if you checked it at the end of it, but even looking at that fence line, you know that our county employees could have provided better. And as well too, remember when I did ask you, like, you said there was a grant, I went ahead and I let it go, but then I asked you, because it wasn't here until we were in court, that I said, where did the other fence line come from? Because I had understood one fence when you said yes, and then you said when you approved it, and then that's whenever I didn't know that there was a fence line. We do in my road, that's when I went out there and I saw it. But truthfully told, had it not been sitting here in Commissioner's Court, I wouldn't have known that we did that work because I asked you, wait, when was the other fence line done? You're like, you approved it, y'all approved it. But again, sometimes the conversation are healthy to have to make sure that we're not providing this type of service to, you know.
And it would help us get clarification and the guidelines to how we're doing things or how we need to do things. Because yes, it was done differently, yeah, way before, or we can say back then, but we need the guidelines to fix it.
Sure, I'll go out there and take a look at it and talk to the contractor about it. Yeah, I'll get a hold of Lamar and Jesus is his bill person.
Well, the other thing, that fence was actually moved towards the road. As a county, we lost right of way.
Well, I don't like that idea myself, so I'm gonna go out there and take a look at it. And
But
then
the
have a
biggest concern is where it's at now.
Correct.
You and I both know with the truck traffic that's out there, they're gonna run over that fence and then who's gonna be responsible for repairing it?
Sure, I did it on other segments of Diamond H when Commissioner Jaime was here. I remember going to meetings and meeting some really interesting people at the ranches and the superintendents and the owners and having conversations. They blamed the county for knocking the fence down and ultimately they said, well, it's not really the county vehicles, it's you fix the road and they're driving faster on it and they're running my fence. And we're like, that's not our problem.
Yeah.
You know, the road is being fixed because we're trying to help transportation wise. Faith, Henriksen, Diamond H, as you all know, they serve a lot of product, a lot of oil and gas. And part of the reasons why we selected those areas, say the court did at the time, was because some of these grants, the C-TERS grant, the C-TIF grant, we received probably on each one $7 or $8 million, give or take, in grant from TxDOT. It was intended out of severance tax to pay back the counties for some of the damages to the roads.
And as far as I understood as well, I don't think we're gonna be getting those grant opportunities anymore. Correct, Commissioner? Because they're not doing them? Is that the question that you asked when we were in training?
Yeah, they're still looking into it.
They're still looking, but as of right now, it's.
For this year, there's none, but they're looking into it.
It'd be great if they would. They got the resources, they just need to allocate.
And I have looked into it too, because it is true. I mean, the oil field traffic is what's happening in the road, and I'm very well aware. I start fixing the road, and they start driving down, and we have to put speed bumps and stuff. But most definitely, I will meet you out there today. I do appreciate it. I'll motion to table for right now until we get some more clarification. I'm gonna disconnect my phone, Judge.
I have a motion to table the change order by Commissioner Talamantes.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Moon.
Thank you, Judge, Court. I'm going to head out there.
Yeah, I can. Do you want my contact information?
Absolutely.
I don't have a business card.
6.4 claim docket, general fund, $477,322.57. Dimmitt County District Clerk, $244.32. Dimmitt County Airport, $5,129.62. Dimmitt County Golf Course, $47,252.44. Economic Development, $8.92. Records Management Clerk, $17,815. Utilities, $67,350.33. Stone Garden, $125,390. Operation Lone Star Program 2022, $222,794.50. Dimmitt County Payroll, $782,220.83. Tax Note Series 2022, $1.63. Tax Note Series 2023, $696,551.79. Tax Note Series 23, $532.07. Border Patrol Settlement, 5 cents. COs 2019, 2 cents. COs 2020, 1 cent. COs 2022, $15,925.14 for a grand total of $2,458,539.24.
Is there a reason why those are just cents?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, Mr.
Commissioner,
Or just to close it out?
it's to move it from the old bank to the new bank.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you, Mr. Pereira had advised me that he was going to be moving, or they're moving funds or something, right? To move funds?
It's just like a handful of interest, just because
Yeah,
there's money,
just
so
interest.
it's just accrued, so when I accrue it, we move it.
Okay.
Now entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. I entertain a motion to adjourn this regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries.
Oh, excuse me. Hmm?
You have resolutions to sign when we're done? Sorry.
I don't know what my agenda is for
For the facility?
the, yeah. Ms. McDaniel, the time's 2:03. I'm going to call the meeting to order for the public facilities. Roll call, let the record reflect that all parties are present. We have a quorum. 1.3, approval of minutes of January 5th, 2026.
No report to update.
Hold on, Commissioner Warren, the minutes.
Subject to no correction, so moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Talamontes. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, discussion of appropriate action, new business. Commissioner, there is no new business, so there's no action. 3.1, monthly report, financial. Motion to table, Commissioner, Mr. Pereira's not here. Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Claim docket, public safety, $2,955.64.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Second by Commissioner, who gave me the second? Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Recess and adjourn. I have entertained a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.